forever to install. I think I'm gonna cancel this. Just
What are
buy
you
another.
trying to What are you trying to install?
I'm installing NBA Live 08 on my other PC, and it's like taking forever, and I don't think it's reading the disk properly.
Mm.
I'm gonna probably have to get another disk because that disk is old. 'Cause I can tell how the way it sounds. Probably clean it up or something.
Yeah, man, I didn't know your wife was telling on your child. Said my child is spoiled rotten, courtesy of
Oh
me.
yeah. Oh yes, he is, and it ain't just her. We spoil him to death. We do.
From a person that grew up um, being spoiled, it's when you have to let them off of it.
Oh, he'd
It's
be fine. He's
so,
18 months.
yeah,
We know when to let it go.
mm-hmm.
We just know what we're doing right now. And
We'll see.
the first thing we do is we're admitting it, so we know where the problem was.
Hmm.
This is episode 164, First and Frame Rates podcast. Myself, Bills, DJ 81. We're back again. Going to talk about a few things as far as some gaming and sports, like we always do. If you haven't already, first and foremost, let people know what we're doing over here and follow us on the Discord so you can talk to us outside of us still being live. Most of the time we're over there just waiting for somebody to say something. We'll comment and keep it moving. Other than that,
No, you got some goddamn nerve.
yeah, we late, man. He right though. We late as hell.
Why did
What Noble of all people gonna talk about us being late?
I got
At least you present.
I got I, wait a minute. I got a question for Noble. Why does your avatar look like it has makeup on Twitter? I noticed that. I was just like, is that mascara?
Yeah, you got a filter on it.
You think you got an egg account?
No,
They talking about
no,
the
I'm
Twitter one.
talking about his Twitter.
Oh.
Yeah, you talking about the Twitter. What else I'm about to say? If you haven't as well, one thing I would like to ask, if you guys, I'll ask again later on, if you guys can just easily go over to one of the Google Play, or I think they're about to change Google Play. I think it's gonna be Music Google Podcast or something like that. Well, anyway, go over there or go to iTunes and just give us a rating. Hopefully, it'd be 5 stars because I feel that we do the best podcast out here, but hands down, it's not even close. So give us a 5 star rating over there. Hit the like button over here, and also check out DJs and Bill's streams. They're gonna be streaming as well. And other than that, man, I'm gonna let them guys go with their intros. DJ, how have you been? You had an eventful couple of days.
Yeah, well, first I would like to say to everybody, thank you guys for reaching out after I made that announcement on Twitter. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate just the reaching out, the well wishes, and everything. And as of right now, I don't know what the diagnosis is. It's just right now, I'm pretty much stuck here for the next one now, 13 days. Um, so I should know something hopefully by next week. But again, I appreciate the well wishes. I'm a, I'm, I'm like feeling wise. Come before this podcast started, my energy level just dropped like tremendously. So I'm hanging in there, but I'm here breathing.
Well, that's always good. You guys keep DJ, keep them on your mind. I don't know if you guys pray or whatever, but if y'all do that, that works as well. Um, Bills, what's been going on with you?
Well, shit, I'm tired for a different reason. I've just been working all week. I'm fucking exhausted. I fell asleep. I didn't watch shit last night. I was watching DJ stream, fucking passed out. I didn't wake up till about 4 this morning. Got up and went to work. So
Yeah, you probably passed out because watch me lose another one. Yeah.
Yeah, just been working on my music day and night pretty much, and that's about it, honestly.
Okay, cool. You've been working, same old, same old.
Hey Bill, you'll be mad to find out that I snuck in 2K on the back half of that stream. So,
of course.
As for me, I've just been doing the same old, same old. I've been working the past few days. Finally went back to work on Wednesday. Work today, got to work the next couple days, but it's all good. Got another video coming out on Saturday. It's going to be a Gran Turismo sport video. Um, I've just been into the racing games, and I've been playing a little bit of the old NBA lives as well. Uh, I'm gonna do a video about that. I'm very impressed by what they did back then because I wasn't really into the basketball games back then. Maybe it's a little bit of honeymoon phase that I'm going through, but it's very. It feels good to have a pretty smooth game on the level of the football games of that same time. And that's how I feel like, with NBA Live '06, that's what they had. So I will talk about that at a later date. Other than
Mm.
that, man, just more content that I'm trying to put out, more ideas. Actually, I kind of abandoned my other channel for a while to just put a video up over there. So let's get into these topics, man. We're going to talk about state of play, which is not much to talk about. We're going to
Mm.
talk about NBA 2K21 trailer, which is also not much to talk about.
Mm.
And we're going to talk about going into the next gen and see if we're going to have some old habits. Um, State of play. Let's get right into it. I looked at it, a lot of indie stuff, couple games that's supposed to be on PlayStation 5. I didn't see anything that jumped out. I did like the Crash Bandicoot game. That looked like that's going to be fun. Godfall is another game that I saw that was actually interesting. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be playing that, but all the other stuff was just a bunch of filter stuff. I was like, man, look, I don't know what the hell this is, and I'm not interested in it. It's just those two games was the only two games that I actually say, you know what, I can get behind that, and that might be something to watch or something to play. Other than that, it was a dud. A lot of people thought it was going to be more, of the same stuff. We're going to get some good big time AAA titles, something that was going to continually, stomp on the Xbox brand. But at the end of the day, it looked like it was too much of nothing. DJ, I know you didn't see anything at all, but give us your thoughts as well.
Well, I wouldn't say I didn't see anything. I know when the Hitman 3 portion
Oh
popped
yeah.
up, they showed it in VR, and I guess what they're saying is that you can play. They'll have all three available. The first one, second one, and the third one all available to play in VR as an option. You can play it in VR as an option. So I thought that's kind of neat. That's kind of
Right.
interesting because I know there's stealth games you play in person. This would be I think the first Hitman playing in first person if you do VR. So that would be kind of interesting. It kind of adds immersion. But as far as the rest of this state of play, no, there was nothing that convinced me. I'm like most of them was like PS4 announcements, indie game announcements anyway, and a couple of indie games for PS5, Godfall. Uh, that's not indie, I don't think, but nothing
Nah.
significant, nothing to really say. I'm like, if anything, I was just like, look, just drop a price. I'm like, we're getting leaks left and right about the price. We got another leak from a major retailer that said that for the PS5, the digital and the physical are probably going to be what is it, 399 and 499. So
Mhm.
Sony needs to hurry up and end this narrative about the price. Release the price. That's really Bills is only interested in the price. I'm only interested in the price. I'm sure at this point everybody's just interested in the price. But I think on the back end we're also interested in more gameplay footage, especially coming from NBA 2K as far as next gen. We need to see something.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, we're going to dwell into that once we get into the next topic.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I forgot. Madden needs to start showing next gen footage because they've been quietly getting away with not showing that either. So
Okay, Bill, did you look at the state of play?
I looked it up on Google right now and immediately closed it. I don't give a console. I don't give a fuck if they have. I don't care what they have to say. Show the price of the console. They're dead to me at this point. It's like the
Mm.
Yeah,
old.
I mean, I didn't see anything too much either.
I mean, even I don't care if they show fucking. I don't care if they showed a damn football game. Say the price of the console.
Right.
I'm done with this shit. It's fucking August. Like seriously, it's getting annoying.
Yeah, I think it is way beyond time to do that. And I mean, at the end of the day, hold on. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy is on Steam, right, DJ? You know?
I don't know. I haven't checked.
Because I was gonna buy the PS4 version. 'Cause I thought I had it, but I didn't. So I'm gonna buy it. But I mean, I think that game only runs at the game only runs at 1440p. So I know definitely if I get it on Steam, I can run it at 4K, and it's not a demanding game at all. It's Crash Bandicoot's trilogy. So I'll
Well,
think about what you want to say.
I was gonna say the one thing that was interesting about Crash Bandicoot, they said the latter part of that uh, footage was the fact that you can play in all these different art styles and stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
I thought that for someone that I'm not interested in playing, I've never really been interested in Crash Bandicoot at any point in my life.
Mhm.
But that seems interesting. But again, not enough for me to get it and play it. But somebody else would appreciate that.
Right. Yeah. See, I played it on. I beat the first one on PlayStation 1, but I never really got into it either. But these are the type of games that I can play, like when when just casually out, I'm sitting in front of the computer and I want to play something.
Mhm.
These are the type of games. Yeah, it's on Steam. It's
Yeah,
30,
I just saw it. Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy,
trilogy. It's just $39. I'm paying that. Where's CD keys at?
$10 per game. What are you talking about?
No, that's true. That is true.
How about
that
the
is true.
I'll tell you what. I'll pay $40 for that before I pay anything for
Wow.
fucking 2K21.
No, that I can. That's fair. It's 3 games, so that is fair, DJ. I agree with that. I'm gonna probably end up getting it eventually. It is. I mean, Crash is not really. It's not really exclusive to Sony anymore, is it? Is Crash 4? I'm pretty sure that's exclusive.
Well, exclusive to
I have
Sony,
it.
but not the console, obviously.
Yeah, because I mean, Crash used to be like Sony's mascot at one time. It was like that was the only place you can get it.
I have it on Xbox now, so no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
Oh, okay, yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's not really a big deal for me to even worry about it. Crash 4, I don't know yet, but
Crash Team Racing is on Xbox too.
right, exactly. So I'm gonna probably end up getting it, and I'm gonna play that. Godfall, I do like hack and slashes. I need to see somebody else play that and review it before I get it. I'm not buying that straight out. It's not one of those games I'm saying, oh, I gotta get, and I'm gonna get it. I need to see a couple people's opinions about it before I decide to get that. All the other games in the middle, that I don't know what the hell who they're catering to. To me, it look like they're catering to a mobile crowd because all those games look like they could be on a mobile device or it could be on like a Sega Saturn or something. I didn't like any of that. I mean, the most of the 2D stuff, yes, most of that 2D stuff looked like it could be on a Saturn or a Dreamcast. I had no, I had. Oh, I did see one game that was interesting though. DJ, what was that game when the dude had the bow and arrow and he was shooting through the little circle?
You mean the female that was shooting through the bow and arrow?
I didn't know if it was female or male.
Yeah, it was a female character.
I thought that concept was pretty neat, like shooting through and you can travel that way. I thought the concept was neat, but I think the game probably was not that good. But I thought for somebody to be innovative to put something out in a video game, that's something I've never seen before. I thought that was actually pretty innovative.
Well, you
I
guys
think.
are wrong
Oh,
because she identifies as a tree. So
She identifies as a tree.
God.
All
Well,
right.
I just feel like with all those PS4 games having release dates either in December 2020 or early 2021, it pretty much reminds me of all the dead games that were on NES back in the day where everybody was trying to do this, everybody was trying to do that. Games had this type of gameplay. I was just like, what? I'm
So
like, I didn't have anything with it.
I got a question about that though. With that being said, how much more do you think the PS4 is going to be continue to be supported? Because some of these games coming out, like I thought I saw one game was like spring of 2021 or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? And then I mean I didn't even talk about Street Fighter 5. Like Street Fighter 5 is a PS4 exclusive, but that's getting updated all the way until winter of next year.
wait a minute.
So it makes you think like how long the PS4 is going to still be supported? Because
I say 3 years.
I think 3 more years. Well, that sounds about right because the PS3 did the same thing. They support that for a while.
Boycott Sony going on right now.
Man, what's going on?
There's a hashtag boycott Sony.
Oh,
Are they doing that because of the Spider-Man thing? Because a lot of people was pissed off about the Spider-Man being exclusive.
I, so the thing is, Spider-Man, that character is exclusive to Sony.
That's what I'm saying. Like Spider-Man has been exclusive to Sony since what? The
A
PlayStation 3
while now,
days? Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you look at the original PlayStation 3 and you look at the logo on the PlayStation 3, the fat PS3, it's literally the same logo from the Spider-Man game.
Now
I mean, they've been exclusive for a while now.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
there's a lot of hashtags. Boycott Mulan, boycott Bollywood films, Baratas.
motherfuckers really bad right now because here's my thing. You're saying boycott Sony, but you could just buy a fucking PlayStation. But no, you want to be an Xbox head and say boycott Sony because you're loyal to Xbox. This is what's wrong with these fucking idiots. You're saying boycott Sony when you can just buy a Sony product and play the fucking game. I can't stand these idiots. You know how stupid that is? Boycott. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, that's basically what it is. A lot of people are
Oh my
mad because a lot of games like the Marvel Avengers, or you have other things that are exclusive to the PS5. So they need to listen.
How could you say boycott Sony when you can just buy their console instead of being a fucking console snob?
I agree. It's like what's up with that? It's like
Mm.
see people like me and DJ, like Bills, you came a little bit later than us, but we understood what exclusives were and we lived with it. We didn't pitch a bitch about it. We was like, okay, Sega got this, or PlayStation got that, Dreamcast got this. It was like, okay, it's cool. If I really want it, I will play it eventually down the road. We didn't get mad and like, I mean, those type of arguments was healthy back in the day. It was cool to say Madden 94 on Genesis or Madden 95 on Genesis was better than Madden 95 on Super Nintendo. And to be honest with you, those are like really different games and to most degree. A lot of people don't realize that. But when you had those like debates or whatever, that's what they were. They were debates and everybody high-fived, they kept it moving. Nobody did all this stuff like was pissed off and wanting to fight and it's ridiculous. I never understood it.
Here's what's funny though. All those people who don't play football games that were laughing at the sim crowd for saying boycott EA, yeah, y'all look real dumb right now.
Yeah, exactly. But the
Y'all
thing
saying
about
boycott an entire company, but a company that makes a console. You're saying boycott that entire company because, God forbid, you bought a fucking PS4 or PS5
And
used your brain.
and then also, I'm sorry to cut you off, but also throw in the fact that Xbox is using Sony product in their Blu-ray. So, yeah, if you want to boycott Sony, it's like Sony's responsible for a Blu-ray player in their console.
Boycott Sony while I play Crash Bandicoot on Xbox.
it's like my thing is the whole thing is just dumb. It really is. I mean,
Boycott Sony while I play MLB The Show 22 on Xbox.
Pretty much.
right, and people don't realize Sony's getting money off of that on the back end because it's still the game is still being developed by who? In-house Sony. It's just going to be on other platforms.
So every Xbox console you get, you're also contributing to Sony.
That's just boycott a company when you can just buy the fucking console. The PS4s in a couple months are gonna be dirt fucking cheap. Or if you were looking for a new console, how about you grow a pair and buy a fucking PS5 instead of an Xbox Series X? No, you don't want to do that. You want to get fake mad on Twitter and say boycott Sony. What the fuck?
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous at the end of the day.
AJ Styles only pops up on SmackDown. Boycott Raw. What the fuck?
Right.
Exactly. I'll just watch Raw. What the fuck?
Nah, I just think at the end of the day, it's like I think exclusives still. Me personally, I want all the games on every platform, but if they do an exclusive, that's a business decision that they deal with. If you have a problem with that, that's on you.
I don't like I don't like the idea of exclusives, but to say boycott a company because of, I mean, it's advantageous for them. They're in the business of making money. People got to remember that. All these companies and anybody that's selling a product, they're in the business of making money. Period. It's not the business of morality. It's the business of money. That's what it is. They're in it to make money. And if they can make more money by protecting that brand and keeping it only on their platforms, they're going to do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Boycott Sony. You weren't gonna play Sony products anyway. Talking about boycott Sony. You're gonna get other people to boycott because your dumbass got an Xbox and you can't play with Spider-Man now. Get the fuck out of
I
here.
can't play with Spider-Man, so fuck everything.
They have Last of Us 2. Boycott Sony. But you're bitching because they have Last of Us 2, which is a good game. Now you're telling people not to play it because it's not a multi-plat. How ass backwards is that?
It's ridiculous. I don't understand it. I just don't know. I don't know at all. But
Xbox, how about Xbox ups their fucking production of actual exclusives that adults want to fucking play, and maybe this wouldn't be an issue.
Seemed like the only one is State of Decay.
That's it. And Halo, which
Oh God.
Halo and Gears of War is cool, but fuck Halo.
I'm gonna let y'all sit here for a second. I'm gonna back out, and y'all can continue to talk because the actual the comments are like really slow for me, and I can't keep up. If somebody say something, I want to pop the comments up so we can repeat them.
Mhm.
But I'm still on my comment, still saying about Bill's and telling Noble to don't use Snapchat filters. That's how far behind I am. So I'm gonna back out and come right back in. So yeah, I'll be right back.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
know yeah, exactly, right?
Let's see. Yeah, because I know I'm sitting here at a comment of it was just a PS4 event, which obviously on YouTube I'm at What's Up with Doug Thomas. So
Okay, now everything is up to date. Now as soon as I came back in, I got all the I don't know, man. This is stupid. Well, anyway,
yeah,
anything else?
people about to jump off of StreamYard because they messing up. They started charging everybody for extra shit, and all of a sudden they're messing up, and it's like,
right, exactly. So, y'all got anything else about the state of play? I don't have anything else, man.
I don't have anything. Yeah.
My thing is like, let us know any more information on the. I will say this has nothing to do with state of play. Do y'all know if the that picture of the black PS5 is that real?
I don't. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it hasn't been confirmed.
Yeah, because it look. I mean, don't get me wrong. Whoever did the picture did a hell of a job of photoshopping because it looks good. Mm-hmm. It looks real. Even the font showing like the Sony PS5 font that was next to it.
Right.
But that black edition, that looks legit. And I'm like, if that's the case, I want that one. I don't want the white man. I want the black one.
Because remember, a few podcasts ago, before they revealed the design of the console, I got by a really good artist rendition of the console.
See, I don't want to suffer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to suffer from that. I want to know what's what. You know what I mean?
Popping up to confirm random shit like, hey, you can't use PS4 controllers on PS5.
Oh my God. And people were like really pissed off about that. I don't understand. What the fuck?
No, the thing is, the funny thing about that is that the games on PS5 are gonna take advantage of what the PS5 controller can do. The PS4 controller obviously can't do some of the things that PS5 controller is supposed to do.
Y'all gotta understand, first of all, one is called the DualShock 4, the next one is called DualSense. So you already know it's totally different.
Right.
How about the fact you get a controller with your console?
That's what I'm saying.
Right. So, and I don't even know why they bitching, Bills. Half of them don't even have friends anyway. So why are they tripping?
Wow.
they don't have friends anyway. So who's gonna come over to play the games?
I can't picture myself liking. Look, now the PS4 controller is nice, but I can't picture myself liking the PS4 controller just by looking at the new controller. And like you said, all the things that it's gonna do based on what they've said. I mean, it seems like it's a worthy upgrade. I don't know anybody who would want to use the.
Yeah, because they were talking about like the dynamic triggers or something like that. You're not going to get that with a PS4 controller.
You're just going to get a PS4 controller, which is nice, but I mean, it's not. Come on, man, Jesus.
And they gay.
Really?
What's next? You want to use the original Xbox controller on your fucking Xbox Series X?
Hey, you better watch it because you know they got the Duke out now. Remember they have the Duke that came out with the
Yeah,
Xbox One.
I remember that one.
So you won't be. I wouldn't be surprised some clowns ask about that.
I didn't
Mm.
like Xbox controller. That shit was
Yeah, I didn't like that
No,
either.
I wasn't. I never was a fan of the Duke, and y'all know how I feel. I'm a avid original Xbox collector. I couldn't stand the Duke.
like I was holding a fucking tablet. I'm like, bro, why?
That shit felt like a hamburger. That shit was like huge.
Well, honestly, I remember dealing with the Dreamcast controller.
Well, see, the Dreamcast controller wasn't as bad, but it was out there, but it wasn't that bad. I can tolerate the Dreamcast controller. I could not tolerate the Xbox controller.
Made me thankful I didn't get that shit.
Yeah, I can tolerate the Dreamcast, but the other one, no, I couldn't do it at all. That was I couldn't wait for the S controller. And now, to be honest, the S controller is very comfortable, but I'm biased because I play my original Xbox more than I play any other console in here. I mean, I have damn near. I'm up to 500 games on the original Xbox. I have a lot of games for it, so I know I'm biased. So
I'll be honest though, I think the Xbox One X and the PS4 were the two best controllers I've used.
really,
Xbox,
you didn't like the 360?
the 360 was nice, but that Xbox One X controller with the grip.
Yeah, that is true. The Xbox One X controller is not too far off from the 360 controller. I see where you're coming
I
from.
think the grip on the back was probably the separation for me, and then the PS4 controller obviously was the best controller in PlayStation history. I mean,
Oh yeah, I definitely like the PS4 controller. I like the fact that the analogs were even and not one higher than the other.
that touchpad, they actually did something with that touchpad for all the games. It didn't just sit there.
Right.
Well, that and also the audio that's produced from it. Like certain games, you would hear like extra stuff, like you stuff on it. Like if there was like a radio that was playing, you probably hear the sounds coming out of the controller.
Road to the Show is another one. When you were playing Road to the Show and MLB,
Yeah, you would hear the extra ambiance
Yeah.
in the crowd. Yeah.
the crowd
Okay.
you're in your bench when you were up the
Mhm.
bat. So it's-
Okay. I finally got Live 08 up. It actually installed. Now I'm good. Life is good.
which one?
No, I got the PC version, Live 08.
Which version is the PC version? Like the PS2?
It's the PS2 version. PS2 version.
I haven't played that one.
Yeah, I mean, Live didn't get good on the PS3 until like Live 09.
I don't know. Live always. Well,
Yeah, Live 08 wasn't bad. I can agree with that. Live 08 was not bad. It really wasn't.
It was the first step because obviously couldn't go too far down from 07 unless you went to 06. But
Yeah.
08
Yeah,
was
06 on the PlayStation 3 was horrible. That was
06 was an atrocity. 07 was an abortion. 08 was great. 09 was. I mean, I don't know. 09 was pretty good, but obviously 2010. Everybody says that one's the best.
yeah, 20 everybody like praised 2010 and I can see why. And I mean it's one of my favorite lives. Between 10 and 15, I love them. I'm starting to really like 06. Because I mean, I'll be honest, I never really played the PS2 version of 06 that much. So
one thing about Live 10 I don't like. Well, two things. The first thing is I don't like holding down the R2 or the right trigger to do size ups, and I didn't like the canned animations triggering for you to beat a guy off the dribble from those size ups. Those are
one thing, yeah, one thing I did not like about Live 10, they don't have many post moves.
That's another thing.
The post moves is like horrible in Live 10,
Like
and
last though.
yeah, and the alley oops was like jacked up too.
Yeah, they were.
But other than that, I mean, the game is pretty solid. I
always been jacked up. Ever since the 360 versions. I mean, they kind of got back to it in 2020 was okay, but I mean the alley oops were kind of dope in the PS2 days. But
yeah, I mean, let me tell you something. That's one thing I really like. I did the picture. I mean, a video of Vince Carter dunking. I mean, dunking in those games feels so smooth. It's probably like the best feeling to have when you're holding a controller compared to any other basketball game I played in a while. Because it feels so fluid. Like even when you look at Vince Carter dunking, that whole sequence just looked great. And it's like Live haven't captured that since, in my opinion. Even with Live 15, Live 19, they just feel like a one big can of animation outside of the Vince Carter dunk, it felt like you accomplished something in doing that. I don't know if that makes sense or not. It just it's crazy.
But that's see, we're gonna get to 2K in a second.
It's almost the difference between throwing the football in Madden 20 compared to throwing the football in Madden 04. You felt like you done something. You know what I
That's what
mean?
I say about live, like live 15, for example. Um, when you went to the paint and you like dunked on somebody, that shit felt amazing
Right.
because it kind of seemed like there was physics going on under there. And that's the one thing I talked to DJ about, like as far as the physics in that game, the ball physics. You ever had a pass bounce off of somebody's head and they like actually react to it?
Mhm.
And you would bang on somebody and it just seemed like, wow, like you dunked on him and that shit looked just ferocious. 2K, I don't know. Something about the dunks on people in 2K seem so scripted at times. And live, it like came out of nowhere. Like you'd be like, "Oh shit, that motherfucker's about to dunk on me," and then he
Right.
would. But the animation didn't seem canned, even though it was. It seemed like it was seamless. It's almost like the two-player animations in Madden when they turn out to be really nice and there's no sliding. It looks pretty seamless. In live, it was the same way. Like when you dunked on somebody, in Live 19, like the animations were pretty nice. And
No,
they
yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. It just you. The thing about current games, and I think this is before we get on 2K21. I know DJ Bills, you probably can attest to this too. The newer games felt like everything just happened. You don't feel like when you're in control of that player, you don't feel like you're that player. You're just trying to make something happen. And when it happens, it's like, oh, it happened. In the older games, like say, for instance, when you ran the ball with Michael Vick after running out in the pocket, when you throw the football in Madden 04, when you throw the ball in 2K8, when you throw the ball in hell, you can even go back and say in a Madden 08 or even Madden 12, when you throw the ball in those games or like NCAA, it felt like you've done something. It doesn't feel like you're just triggering the animation. It doesn't feel like you're just wanting the player to do something. It's like you felt like you had that kind of control.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than triggering something and then basically you can put the controller down and wait for the outcome.
Right. Or like, because like when you say it all the time about the passing in Madden 04, you
Yeah,
actually had to put in work for those passes to happen. And when it happened, you felt like you felt like you done something.
I mean, there's if you put that pass sensitivity, I think that's what it's called, the sensitivity slider up, you would be able to place that ball wherever
Right.
you saw
You know,
fit.
and I mean that's the thing. And I mean NYK has been playing APF lately, and it's like the passing and that is the same thing. When you want to make a certain pass and it happens, it's like, oh shit, I felt like I did it. Compared to like, okay, I need to throw a lob pass, so I just need to tap the button. It's like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah, like
like,
I kind of disagree with Smitty about Madden 21. I don't think the passing is anywhere near as tethered as he's making it out to be.
uh-huh.
I respect his opinion. I do feel like there are ways for you to throw the ball to spots. But once again, I told him, and I think this is really the case. I think it has to do with the quarterbacks they gave us in that beta.
Right.
It has a lot to do with that. Even Lamar Jackson has pretty good accuracy from the pocket. They upped his accuracy pretty
Well,
significantly.
I thought you was about to say Lamar Odom. My
Wow.
bad. I don't know why that came across my mental. It was like, what?
But no, I mean, Lamar Jackson, and obviously, then you have Tom Brady, and you have Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, and
Right.
had who was the last guy? Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady, Matt Ryan. So I
Right.
mean,
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
between those four guys, you can put the ball wherever you felt like putting it.
Right.
I think you would feel more freedom playing with a quarterback that couldn't put the ball everywhere that you want to put it. But with them, I mean, they're gonna throw the ball right where it needs to be, and a lot of times when they lead it, it doesn't seem like they're leading it because it's so on point. I think that might be what it was, but I do agree that the passing was better in the PS2 days, and
Yeah.
obviously,
I mean, to me, it's almost it's almost like not. I ain't say not even close, but you can tell immediately, and it's just something that it's one of the reasons why I still play those games because I feel like it just feel like so much individualism in those games. I can't pull up the thing again as far as
Question.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't pull it up for some reason. It's not showing up on my thing. It's weird. I don't know what's going on here. But Noble said, "Did anybody play Madden Mobile?" Hell no. DJ, what about you? You touched it?
No.
I'm not even gonna ask Bills. I
No.
already know the answer to
It asked me.
that. I already know the answer to that. Like, no, no. Weird. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all for good games, and I don't care where they're at. But one thing I'm not doing, I'm not an on the go type gamer. It's not just a shot at mobile. It's like PSP, Switch. It's one of the reasons why I don't have a Switch.
I didn't have a PSP either.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have one.
I never had one either.
I got one, but it's like it never was my thing.
I had a Game Boy Color. That's about it.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it just never was my thing.
Yeah, I think the only handheld I had was the original Game Boy.
I had that shit too.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Big ass grade.
Yep. I played
Yeah,
Teenage
they-
Mutant Ninja Turtles. I
call
played
it the-
Tetris.
Yep. They used to call it the red. They used to call it the brick, the gray brick.
What it was? That damn cartridge in the back. And
Yep.
With
Super Mario
with the-
Land.
with- Super Mario Land was great on the game, but that was
Mario Land.
I'm actually surprised they haven't re-released that game.
Y'all gonna hate me. I've never played any Mario of any kind.
No.
I can believe it because
I
I know what year you was born, so I understand that.
Like I had a chance to. I don't know. I never. I don't know.
But
Yeah,
but we understand that Crash Bandicoot is your Mario though.
It pretty much is. Like I was never really interested. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's funny because my first Mario game was literally Mario Brothers when they were like, where you couldn't even.
Oh, you talking about the ones where you had to hit the enemies above and jump on?
Yeah.
Kick them? Oh
And
yeah,
then-
yeah.
Yeah.
That old man. You took
And
it
it was
back.
and actually that was the first co-op game I played. And I think that was like the first co-op game period.
Yeah, I mean outside of Pong, I mean, but I think it's
Pong
co-op. I think it's co-op. You're talking about working together type co-op. I got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're playing against each other in Pong.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't realize that Mario Brothers game came out on Atari.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know that. Like Mario did not make his debut on Nintendo. It was on the Atari 2600.
Mm-hmm.
I had a question about Ride 3, I guess.
Yeah, I'm about to get to that. Not DJ, but LT asked, "How's Ride 3 going?" I'm loving the game. To me, it's almost like I'll say a motorcycle version of Gran Turismo. It still has some of the same tracks. Driving a motorcycle with the controller is totally different from a car. I learned that because I flipped off the car a couple times. I mean, I flipped off the motorcycle a couple times. I mean, I was like rolling, like damn, I thought I killed the person.
You know what games I make? I miss what was it called? Like MTX versus like ATV.
ATV, yeah. That's another. I got that on the
games on the PS2. I played that shit.
Yeah, that is a good game because I have it on the original Xbox.
I'm sorry.
Those are good games.
My game was Road Rash.
Oh man, you took it back. Yeah,
One,
Road Rash.
2, I know they had a spiritual successor off of it, but it really didn't, get my attention. But Road Rash 1 and 2, because you take somebody's billy club from them
and hit him off the bike.
right, kick him into oncoming traffic. That was crazy.
Yeah, Road Rash is something crazy. Scott O'Gallagher says that the Mario on the Switch is a system seller. Absolutely.
Chris said,
I don't
played the
see.
yard on mobile, I guess.
Wait a minute, hold
Oh,
up.
he played the yard on mobile. Wow. Yeah.
Wait a minute, hold up. I'm gonna have to disagree with that. I thought Breath of the Wild was the system seller for the Switch.
I don't know, man. A lot of people like Odyssey too, though.
Yeah, but Breath of the Wild was like the main thing everybody was raving about as far as playing the Switch. Well, other than just it being mobile, but yeah. I didn't really. To me, it just seemed like Mario wasn't
I don't think
a factor that more than it wasn't anything better. I felt like The Legend of Zelda was more of a factor than Mario. They're both system sellers. But
I think the thing about the Breath of the Wild on the Switch was the reason behind that because that game was way more anticipated. By the time when that game was coming out, a lot of people didn't know about Odyssey at all. You know what I'm saying? Like it was Breath of the Wild. Everybody wanted that game because they knew it was coming. I mean, it was that big of a anticipated game. They still put it out for the Wii U. I mean,
Hmm.
so and at the time that came out, nobody knew what the Mario game was going to be.
Right.
So I kind of see where you're coming at because that was the system seller for the Switch. But for some reason, a lot of people like Odyssey too. I don't know. Just I haven't played. I don't have a Switch at all. I'm still waiting for Bayonetta 3.
I
Once
just
that comes out, I'm getting a Switch.
I just know overall Mario is still at the end of the day the mascot for Nintendo. So
Mhm.
I don't think that's gonna change either.
No. Doug Thomas said he missed Jet Moto. That was a really good game on the PlayStation 1. I remember that.
Yeah,
Let's
LT, it
see.
does suck. I'll probably have to get it when I get a PS5, I
Wait, he
guess.
said, MX versus ATV. The new one is like $12 on the store. I might have to try
hey
that.
man, hold on. Did Noble just say he hated Mega Man along with Zelda? What's his problem?
What?
Yeah, he wilding, man. How could you dislike Mega Man though? Like Mega Man was.
I'm like, I'm trying to figure out how
Noble
many.
has some weird quirks. I mean, he's a Bears fan.
Mm.
I mean, come
And
on.
we
Oh,
do we have to go back to the fact that he's named after a team that was wiped out in Halo Reach?
oh.
Okay. So
OG also said someone tell Two Chains he's not ready for Ross. I agree. I think
Oh,
Ross is gonna beat him. I think
and
so too.
that's going on right now, I believe.
Is
That
it
versus, yeah.
really? That's weird for the versus to be on the third.
Somebody said Rose. I guess Ross was
and
winning.
my thing about
I thought they usually do those on the weekend. I'm surprised they're doing it today.
I don't know how I feel about these versus battles, man.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it. This was a quarantine idea, and that's where I mean, if and I hate to say this because you can say this for almost anything, but if it
Mhm.
wasn't for COVID, versus probably would never be a thing. They probably wouldn't even care.
Shoot, there'd be a lot of DJs that even though they previously were known, they wouldn't be as well known now, thanks to COVID. So a lot of ideas have been and that's funny when you talk about a pandemic of this situation. You know, you have the media that puts out the negativity and blah 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 and stuff like that, but then it's just like
It's fine.
there's stuff that you can come up with that I'm like some people take it as a sign that hey, I can dig into my creativity and figure there's something else that I can do and take advantage of everybody being stuck in one place. Like how could I make the
Right.
situation better?
I'm not completely. I don't know. Like something about popularity contests just kind of rubbed me the wrong way musically. I guess
Hmm.
In general,
it's obviously good. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's probably just the
nah,
fact that I do music. I look at like some of these versus battles and they're either like not appealing to me or the things people are saying are just like kind of crazy and not based on musicality. But I have to take a step back and realize
nah. I'm 100.
why
I'm
that.
100% with you with that because I'm not really a big fan of popularity contests either. But
Well, shoot, I was surprised I didn't get any blowback from OG's start cut, no start bench cut. I put out there. I think he had said he had given three female R&B legends, Beyonce, Mariah Carey, and Whitney Houston, and I went with start Whitney, bench Mariah, cut Beyonce.
I'm starting Whitney and cutting the other two.
Damn.
you just say cut another two. No, I'm kind of with you on that one, DJ. To be honest with you, I'm kind of
Yeah,
with you
because
on that.
to me, Beyonce was more of a dancer anyway. So I was just
Yeah,
like, I
like
don't need dancing. I need singers.
people
So
have chosen their their designation of Beyonce very wisely for like the past 10 years where it's like they realize that she's not a great vocalist and they can't even really call her one. Then they try to cherry pick the few performances she has where she sounds all right and then they go back and they say, "Well, she's the greatest entertainer right now," which she's also not. Um and it's just that's how the Beehive operates, but
that's how any hive operates.
that's
No,
Remember,
how
I no, I,
the
none worse.
Washington
There's
football team had the Kirk Hive,
There's nothing worse than Beyonce's
There's
though.
nothing worse than
Nothing worse
Beyonce.
than Beyonce.
Probably
Oh,
Rihanna's fans come a
Maybe come
second.
close. I agree.
politically, Kamala Harris had a hive. I
Oh
hated
yeah,
her.
No,
we'll
Yeah,
talk about we'll talk
they
about
were annoying as hell until yeah.
no hey, you can say, but the thing is, you can say something bad about Kamala Harris,
Wait a
and
minute, who cut Dave Chappelle?
I don't know,
Wait,
but
No,
you can say some things about Kamala Harris and live, but you can't do that with Beyonce.
wait, OG, what was the
yeah,
who were the three?
yeah, because that's
Oh no, I think it was Eddie Murphy, Chappelle, and Richard Pryor. I think, or was it?
oh
Oh, I can see that. Then never mind. If that's those three, I can see David Chappelle.
You know what's funny though?
hold on, let me check that out.
Um, this is interesting. This is an impromptu topic I want to bring up. There are a lot of people I'm seeing that all of a sudden are saying that Richard Pryor's comedy doesn't age well and isn't as funny as.
Boy, they tripping.
Yeah,
Wow.
they because I just seen like people just let me see, not just Richard Pryor, even Eddie Murphy. I think some people will say the same thing. But I was watching a stream that got sniped because they were showing Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Why would they do that on YouTube? You know, whose idea was that?
I don't know whose idea wanted to do that. I was like, I was surprised it went as long as it did.
Right. They're like, yo, you do that, you got 5 seconds to live.
So they had like a whole hour and stuff. So I'm like,
Wow, they should have known better than that. That was
Pryor,
nuts.
Eddie Murphy and Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, I can see what Dave Chappelle is on the back end of that one.
I don't see Dave Chappelle getting cut though. That's the thing.
Between those those three, I can see that. And it's not a knock on Dave Chappelle. It's just that look who you up against.
True, but I seem like I would cut Eddie Murphy.
You wildin'.
I'm saying because Richard Pryor's also responsible for one of the funniest. He contributed to one of the funniest movies back in the day, and that was Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, and Eddie Murphy has two of the greatest stand-up.
Like Raw, like you gonna discount Raw and Delirious now?
And mind you, name another guy who only has two.
But you
that would even be named up there.
But you got to understand at this point, it's whoever I feel.
I get
That's
it.
fine. We get
So
it.
it's just
I'm
like
just saying.
I can't. Right, what I'm basically saying is that as much as you guys are arguing for the other people, I can't fight your guys' argument because at the end of the day, that's who y'all prefer over me.
I get it with your opinion, and I'm not trying to add my opinion into it. I'm just looking at the body of work. When you look at what the other two done, it's hard to put Chappelle up against the two. It's not that the fact that I prefer the two over. I'm looking at strictly a body of work.
For me, it feels like who's made me laugh the most. I feel like Richard Pryor and Dave Chappelle have made me laugh the most.
And I understand that.
Here's the thing about comedy. So with comedy, there's kind of a basis, and then everything else from there is subjective. For example, nobody's gonna call Tiffany Haddish the greatest comedian, right?
Oh God,
everybody,
not funny at all.
Like when people talk about their all-time greats, of course, there's a lot of people that they leave out. I hate how often George Carlin's left out.
Yeah, Carlin. Yeah,
I hate that. Look, I'll be honest. I don't think Chris Rock is funny. I don't think Chris Rock has never made me laugh.
Chris Rock has moments, but he doesn't have the show.
People make every time I say I don't find Chris Rock funny, people make it seem like I'm saying that Richard Pryor is not funny. I'm like, that motherfucker is not on a level of a Chris Rock, of a Richard Pryor, of an Eddie Murphy, of a Red Fox, of a George Carlin,
right,
of a Bill Cosby. Even if you're talking about stand-up. People need to stop with that.
Like I said, Chris Rock has his moments, but I don't think he has like that one stand-up. I'm gonna say I'm about to listen to this and have a good time the entire time through. But throughout his stand-ups, he has moments in him that are pretty good.
I actually went to one of Chris Rock's stand-ups live.
He speaks truths, but he doesn't present anything in a funny way to me.
Got you. I understand.
I mean, it's like, there's weird comedians that I just like. Like, nobody gives Bill Burr enough credit. I'm not saying he's an all-time great, but the motherfucker's hilarious. And I think he's one of the best of his time. Patrice O'Neal is another one that nobody gives credit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why comedy is such a wide-ranging subject. But then when he says comedic greats, is he only talking stand up or is he talking movies too? Because in that case, obviously it's Eddie starting.
Yeah, yeah, movies, yeah.
But if
Yeah.
we're talking strictly stand up,
And
then
that's what I was going to
oh,
just
yeah,
strictly. That's what I was
no,
going strictly stand up. I wasn't
it's
doing all the
very
other stuff.
tough. I wouldn't cut anybody to be honest.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah,
pick a
especially out of those three, I
I try
really
to pick
didn't
a
want to cut
starter.
anyone.
I try to pick a
No, it's
starter.
hard
I
to.
would pick
It's
the
hard
other
to.
two, but
It's really hard to. I agree with that. It's very hard to cut any of them. But I was just looking at between the three. It's almost like those one gotta go type deals, and you don't want to do it, but one gotta go.
Yeah,
So
because also at the end of the day, not just the Chappelle stand up, but also the Chappelle show. That literally kept me sane while I was in the Air Force. So I was.
mhm.
LT brought up. He said, "I love Bill Burr. The helicopter story makes me laugh every time." No,
Yeah.
there are two Bill Burr segments that you have to find if you want to watch Bill Burr. The first one is when he talks about he talks about basically he talks about how it's like forced like how do I put this? He basically talks about forced like you know like oppression. Like he makes it seem like it's not quite as oppressive as people make it out to be. Like
Right.
he's like who was really blocking black kids from swimming in the pool, and they made a whole movie about it. And the way he was doing it, it was like fucking hilarious how he just praised it. And then the other one is when he did a segment saying, "Is it really never okay to hit a female?" And the whole concept of the topic was he was just giving every example where he felt like it was justified to hit a female. And like he's just the reason I like Bill Burr is much like the reason why I like Dave Chappelle. He's not scared of anybody. He's not scared of the PC culture. You can't cancel somebody who doesn't care if they're canceled.
Right. That's
And
true.
True.
Bill Burr does not give a fuck about being canceled. He doesn't have to be on Twitter. He's still going to get booked. People still find him funny. And the people that go to his shows are the ones that aren't very sensitive. They don't try to heckle him because they know they'll get torn down. And by the way, if we're talking greats in stand-up comedy, also Bernie Mac has to be up there.
Yeah, Bernie Mac is a good one. He's a good one.
Yeah, Bill Burr, man, amazing. Louis Black. Louis Black's another one. Very political, but at the same time, great comedian. There are probably a couple others I'm forgetting about, but yeah, Patrice O'Neal is amazing. Doug Thomas said Patrice O'Neal. Patrice O'Neal is amazing.
Oh, let me see if I see anything. Noble asks, did I check out the No Limit Chronicle? Absolutely. That's a no-brainer. Absolutely.
Okay, Scott G said I personally don't think anything in comedy history is better than the Chappelle show. Hmm.
That's a tough. I don't know because there's so much comedy that's out there that
Well, and you also got to remember like who was also there on the show with them, and one of them was Patrice O'Neal.
Mm-hmm. It's just so much comedy out there. It's hard for me to just say yeah, I agree because it's so much comedy that I've watched over the years.
I'm like,
That'd be tough.
And then it's funny. It's like also in that cast, Charlie Murphy.
Yeah.
So there was always that Eddie Murphy link. If Eddie was in it at that point, he wasn't really focused on the adult comedy at that point. But if Eddie were focused on that when the Chappelle show, man, that Charlie Murphy stories would be even more lit.
No, but I'll be honest, I'm not an Andrew Dice Clay fan. I think he was a product of his time. He was very one-dimensional.
I remember the movie The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. That was a funny ass movie.
Like Dice Clay was very much a product of his time, in my opinion. He was just typical, stereotypical New Yorker. In a way.
Yeah, pretty much. I can agree with that.
Stick, but he couldn't really go outside of that stick. Like,
he couldn't.
Yeah. Let's see.
But back in the day in comedy, that's what got people by. Like you said, it's a product of his time.
He drew huge crowds.
I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? No, nobody else said anything. All right. Let's look at that.
Oh, we forgot about Eddie Griffin.
I didn't. Eddie Griffin lost me when he did Foolish.
Well, I don't know about that. I liked Foolish. They
Eddie
Yeah.
said
Griffin.
per. I think the stat line is because they came out around the same time as Star Wars. He said per screen they beat Star Wars.
Oh wow.
Eddie Griffin.
I
So
didn't even realize that. He
I
was
don't know.
full. He was funny and foolish, but he lost me after that. That's like I didn't want to see anything else out of him after that. Not saying he was bad. It's just like I
but
thought he was great. I thought he was great and foolish. It's
but there
just
was a stand up that he did that I thought he was just fucking hilarious. I forgot which one it was.
mhm. Yeah.
Well, OG Film Room. OG Film Room. I don't know why.
Oh wow.
OG. Well, if we're gonna do that, I mean, shit.
Rick
You don't want to.
James
You don't want to
Prince.
go down. You don't want to go down the rabbit hole of SNL because I think they're gonna beat him out. I think.
Hmm.
I mean, just on volume of
Big O's racial draft.
just on the volume of their segments alone, I think SNL will probably beat him out.
I'm
Unfortunately,
trying which one. I'm trying to figure out which one of Dave Chappelle made me laugh the most on that show. Corey.
Rick James and Prince probably to me.
Ah.
Yeah, those are two good ones.
Yeah. Rick.
Corey Holcomb's funny, but his subject matter is very limited. He basically only talks
When
down
did
to women and yeah.
Wait a minute? Wasn't Corey the original Bill Cosby snitch that got this whole thing rolling with him winding up in prison? Because wasn't he was like no one really was talking about him. All of a sudden he's talking about Bill Cosby back in the day used to rape women and blah 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 blah
Yeah,
blah.
but
And then it kind of brought that back up all over again.
OG, I'm not even talking about his. I'm not even talking about his SNL. I'm saying, as far as like comedy in general, I say that their volume of comedy is better than Chappelle Show. Just based
Kevin
on how many. Kevin Hart had two good specials to me. The last couple, he kind of lost me.
to me, Kevin Hart is funnier in the movies than he is stand up.
Yeah, I agree.
And
He's the
he's more physical comedy. He's a walking joke.
Yeah,
But
and I think that's what makes him funny because it's more like he talks about himself instead of actual like issues that most people do.
I don't like recycled jokes, and a lot of his jokes he remixes them.
Yeah,
And he is a funny guy, but the thing about Kevin Hart, and the unfortunate thing about Kevin Hart is once you get to that height, you don't have to be funny anymore.
mm, that's a pun in itself. Once you get to that height.
But like, yeah, he doesn't have. Kevin Hart doesn't have to be funny anymore.
yeah, I think he's on the other things as well because I think he has a couple other movies coming out
Just
too.
like The Rock doesn't have to be a great actor.
Well, he bought the XFL. He doesn't have to do much now.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
apparently there's an injunction that's trying to stop all that.
Why
So
am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised when
they
you
don't
said
want us to own anything. That's
Jim
what.
I'm not
Carrey
surprised with that?
is an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Because a lot of people
You
say
the Price
that
is Right, guy.
Jim Carrey's career. Jim
No,
Carrey's.
we didn't
Yeah.
say Drew Carey. We said Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got you.
We said Price is Right.
Jim and Drew sound really close together. So I mean,
Oh boy.
that sounds like you said Drew to me. It's like,
I
yeah,
find Drew Carey funny too. He has a dry sense of
Yeah,
humor.
but Jim Carrey he owes his career to the Wayne's family.
Well, he
So
said it, so
I'm not down on him because of it. I'm like that shows how humble he knows who got him through because he was doing what movie he did back in like before he was on In Living Color. First what was it? First Bite. It was him and where like it was some B-rated horror flick. It was kind of like comedy, but they all had makeup on or stuff like that. It was you probably had to look. I had to look
I'll
it up.
tell
I'll
you.
bring it up.
I'll tell you another guy I didn't find funny stand up wise. Martin Lawrence. I
no,
never found.
to me he's a better actor.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
never
he's a better
found Martin
actor.
Lawrence funny.
He's a better actor. I never really cared. I mean, he used to do the Def Comedy Jam stuff. It was cool, but I never looked at him that way. Let's see.
So yeah, we kind of
Who- who-
way off of sports on this.
Yeah, it's all good.
We only had 3 topics.
Once bitten, that's what it was. Inval just put it out there. That's what it was. Because the dude from Blazing Saddles was the head vampire, the black
Mel
dude.
Brooks? Oh, okay.
So who really cares about this 2K21 trailer? Honestly,
I'm waiting on a blog so I can read and see what details. Because at this point, it's not about any, especially on current gen, it's not about outright change, outright difference from 2K20. I feel like the blog, once it's out, whatever detail, whatever's in the details, that's what I'm interested in because I'm getting it on PC. So that and PC will carry
the
the
current gen one,
current
right?
gen version. So
And I'm with Poster King. I go Poster King. I'm more looking towards the next gen myself because I didn't think it was gonna be that big of a jump. Even
mm,
though like I said, we did hear about more than it's be a second dev team on it. But once I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, this looks good, but I didn't expect that big of a leap. Because you also got to say, I think the finale, not the finale, but they're going to put more in the next generation to get more people over there. So to me, I was like, okay, I like this. It looks cool, but I didn't expect much out of it. I know Bill. To me, I want to wait till it goes to a price drop. Hopefully, I can find one on PC. I'm looking at hopefully $30. You can already buy it on CD Keys for 50 right now. But I don't see myself paying 60 for that one. I definitely will pay 60 for the next gen because I feel like they're going to give us the product a full fledged. Not saying that this was not, but I think they're going to give us a really good next generation product with that one. So, Bills, what are your thoughts? I know you were talking about it before we started streaming.
I'm about. I told Obi Wan on Twitter. I'm like, bro, I'm about 98% sure I'm not buying this. The only 2% that can save it is a Scott OG blog, or a blog of some kind that's gonna explain to me gameplay wise something that's different. Because I didn't see it in the trailer, and yeah, it's a trailer, so I'm not even really upset about that. I've been looking forward to next gen this entire time, and nothing swayed me today. And um, if I got the game, I'd probably just start a WNBA My League if that is confirmed that that's going to happen. I mean, other than that, I don't really see a point of. I mean, it'll hold me over until
Yeah, that
whenever.
that would be a good reason to actually get it. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
it'll hold me over until the new console comes out. But uh, I mean,
now,
if I had $60 laying around, I guess. I mean, it's not that it's not going to be quality because we know it is. It's just I have I I I feel like I have NBA 2K21 and NBA 2K20, and it's sad that I say that, but based on the trailer, that's all I have to go by. I kind of feel like I have that minus a roster update, and obviously the NCAA teams, but that's not really a selling point for me. So yeah,
Right.
I think the one question that I do have, and that's the one little detail that everyone's pointing out, is about the shot meter. Now, personally, I don't use the shot meter, but I do think it's an interesting change visually. But I also wonder if it's like a dynamic, like that has that safe area and then it has that perfect line that if you hit that line, it's going to be 100% or it's going to be whatever. I wonder
Mhm.
if that safe area is going to be in different spots according to the shot release timing. So it'll be interesting to hear about that.
Yeah, I think the overall, like I said, it to me it looks okay. If I was to do anything, it'd be like a $30 purchase.
I would
Um,
I would say the three selling points for me would be what classic teams are they adding because that might sway me a little bit if there's something really really special. Um, Off the bat, what are they doing with my player? Because that might be another thing that might sway me if you can play like a full season of college or something crazy like that.
right.
I might get it. And then the third thing would obviously be like I said before the podcast started, aesthetically, like what have they done? Um, because like I said, gameplay wise, I don't see a big jump. They'd have to really surprise me for them to take
Gotcha.
a big jump in gameplay. I just don't really see it. It's not like Madden. Like I talked about this already. Madden's taken a big step in gameplay just from last year to this year. 2K, they didn't really need to, and doesn't seem like they have from the trailer. So we have to see raw gameplay and see, we have to read the blog and see what they've added that would convinced me to get this game from a gameplay perspective.
Gotcha, gotcha. Um, yeah, I don't have anything else when it comes to that. My thing is, I really, I want a pretty decent football, football, basketball. Well, we want a football game, but I really want a decent basketball game. 2K20 gave me that. I expect overall, I don't see where they will drop the ball with that. I think we'll continue to get those type of things, but I'm just really looking forward to the next generation. Honestly, I think at the end of the day, with this day and age right now, I think that's going to be the important thing. Like what we get next generation. This current one, I think we're going to get a decent product, but I don't think it's going to be anything compared to where we get in the next generation. So I'm okay with that. Anything else y'all got? Like any questions? What about the chat? Uh Post King says next gen for me. Okay. All right. Whatever.
I think what it is, I don't blame people for, you know, just looking at or setting their sights on next gen because it's just like, okay, what's the player motion going to be like? Because we're hearing that there is the game was, let's see, is being built from the ground up. So it's just like, all right, are we that motion system that the team has been working on these past years to get away from the canned animations? Are we going to get a complete break on next gen? We'll see.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Antonio Wilson asks, "Are you buying the current gen?" Yeah. I'm gonna end up getting it, but I need to get it at a discount, honestly, because I don't know right now getting it at $60 and me getting it on PC. I know I'll find it for less than $60. Um, Quayface also says he's more hyped for the 2K golf game.
Oh yeah, that comes out.
Yeah, that comes out in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
That's
I
gonna
know.
be. I think that's gonna be pretty good,
Oh,
honestly.
EA UFC is on Access tomorrow. I don't know why they didn't release it early like they always do, but
Mm.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
yeah, because the game
Cool,
comes
cool,
out
cool.
next week.
Gotcha. Um, I think that's pretty much it on that. Next gen old habits. We got people in this community still doing the same thing that they did last generation, and they're doing it this generation. And I'm pretty sure they're going to do it again next generation. So I know this is going to be a topic for everybody. We could pretty much talk about that. And what Kia said, PES 21 on September 15th.
No, it's PES 20 with 21 added
20.5.
stuff on it. That's
That's
Y'all wrong,
20.
man.
that's what. That's
No, no,
basically what they're
no.
doing.
BF, that's literally what it is.
That's
No, that's messed up,
that's
man.
literally no. That's what they're doing.
Oh
It's
man.
not a new game.
They
They're
told us this.
because they're focused
Oh, so
on
they actually said that's what it is.
yes.
It's literally just a roster update that you have to pay for.
Yeah, it literally, they're gonna because they're moving away from the Fox engine. So the next gen version of it, which will come out next year, will not be a Fox engine game.
Oh wow. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. That that's crazy.
See, and
Okay.
we're probably the only podcast that knows about that because we actually do our homework around here.
PES 20.5, man.
And see, me, I wouldn't know about this stuff, but I already told you I'm not a soccer guy, so I had no idea.
I
But
saw
that's
that.
And unfortunately, I don't have PlayStation, so I can't download the fucking kits because I'd be playing PES a lot more if I had the uniforms. But Xbox want to be a bunch of pansies, so I can't download the damn kits.
Wait a minute. You can't use you can't use a USB.
No.
Wow, damn.
that's
And it's
crazy.
funny because Microsoft, damn, that's messed up. Nope, should have bought a PS4. Or kept it.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, that's pretty bad. But like I said, next gen old habits. I don't want to name Moody's name, but why he always end up in these things where he's always, in it with somebody. I mean, at some point we got to get past this and just play these games.
Nah, it's just like Trump. You always got to have somebody to go up against. It's just like what was brought up during the Last Dance documentary. Jordan would just come up with his own form of motivation, be like, "Oh, that dude walked past me the other day. I'm gonna score 50 on him."
Right, and it is
Never
not
walked past me
necessarily.
ever in his life.
And it's not necessarily a situation where I'm talking like directly about him, but it's like it gets to a point where like, bro, let
But you
you
know
know,
what? There's always a
it's
dance partner in these things, and you also it's like there's there's plenty of blame to go around. I'm like, you got somebody who likes to like start stuff, and somebody who likes to partake in it, and they want to have this dance. They're gonna have this dance, and it's just like, well, I'm like, you can't say, oh, I'm all about positivity, or my projection is here and yours is there. I'm like, you're doing exactly what you said that you just you what you're doing right now is exactly against what you just visualized to everyone in your podcast. So it's just like, you know what? You best ignore negativity if your projection is where you say it is.
Right. And it's just my thing is it's just it to me, like I said this when I put it out there on Twitter, like there's people you can go to actually have a good experience as far as gaming. Put you, Bills, I mean, we may have our disagreements. Well, with certain people that's on that list, like I know sometimes we look at Izzy. I like Izzy, but sometimes he'd be like, "Yo, really?" But people like Izzy and Real Mama Eagle, Spec Pooh, which it hasn't been on watching the podcast today. I'm gonna have to take his wrench away from him again. Um, just people like that just gonna give you some a really good. You're gonna have a really good time talking and or watching them play. And I think going into next gen, I mean, I can't speak for you guys because we're not on one accord when it comes to this podcast. We all have individual minds, and that's what makes it great about this podcast. But definitely going into next gen, I'm just going to continue what I do as far as just try to keep it on the games. And you have people that's in this football community. I mean, let's be honest, a few of these guys don't even play games. They play one game, but they don't play enough of one game. They're just here for the attention, and I want the attention to be on the games. And I think that's where a lot of people who watch us, they for the most part they come to us because we bring that avenue where we're honest, we're real, and we're upfront about the sports and the gaming side of it. We're not here to necessarily talk about people, but we will put you in your place if need be. And I think that's fair because people don't need to be directed to that type of, negativity when it comes to just us playing games or having fun about sports because it's bad enough we deal with enough already outside in real life. So it's like I want to bring that avenue to where we can actually enjoy and have fun and joke and just keep it gaming and we'll poke fun at people every now and then, but we're not that uptight about each other's flaws as well. But at the end of the day, that's what it needs to be. It needs to be just all in fun. People just take it too serious to the point where you're going back and forth on social media. We've done that. I mean, Bills, you can attest to that. I mean, we've done that for years, and I think for the most part, we just now just keep our we talk, we say what we got to say and leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are your thoughts about it, Bills? I mean, you think it's time for like at least some form of a change with that?
It's never gonna happen.
I mean, I'm not talking about them. We know that. I'm just talking about how we feel in general about it. We know it's not going to happen.
I mean, would this community really be this community if they weren't doing this shit? It's like,
Yes and no, but I get what you're saying.
I no, it wouldn't be because there would be nothing to talk about. Like pretty much November through May.
You
That's
got
Oh, go ahead.
you also got to remember, um, the original sim standard wouldn't have formed if it wasn't for somebody saying something about Apex. Like everybody would have just individually continued making videos, and it would have been just like, okay, go to this channel, go to that channel, whatever. Then all of a sudden, Ian Cummings and Pasta Padre are on this podcast, and then boom, and it's like everybody comes together, and it kind of creates the community within itself.
see,
Yeah, I think, and for the community to be predicated off that, I think that's where Bill's getting at. It's never going to change because it was built off of that.
see.
Yeah.
Here's my thing though.
Mhm.
Um, about this whole dummy and Moody situation.
Dummy and
Um, look, Dubby is a fucking clown. All right, I'm just gonna say that because I've said it several times. I'm gonna reiterate it.
No, I agree. He is a clown. I 100% with you.
W's a fucking clown. Moody, I don't know how this started. Um, Moody responded. They had a back and forth. W claims that Moody's too overly negative, and he said some things that we've said in the past. But the thing about this clown is that he says he's so overly positive and everything is positive. And like I said, he's the same person that comes to sim guys. He's the same person
Yep.
that comes at the fixed franchise situation.
Yep.
He's the same guy that's bitching about usering as we speak. So don't go and put yourself up on um this fucking pedestal and say that you're only positive, only positive, only positive when you're not. Because quite frankly, you're a fucking idiot. And you say shit to rile people up, and Moody's probably tired of it, like a lot of other people are tired of it. Because quite frankly, if somebody asked if somebody asked us about Moody on this podcast, none of us have a great relationship with Moody, but the shit that Dubby said about him, especially from where Dubby stands, is fucking laughable.
And and that's what when we first talked about this, and I get where you're saying, because with us, it's like I get the sentiment. If anybody else said what he said, he's 100% accurate. But it's like the pot is calling the kettle, and the pot wants to, and he wants to praise.
But the thing also is, we've accepted the fact that Moody's going to do that, and we understand why he does it, and that's him, right? We let him stay in his lane.
Yeah, we pretty much dealt with it and understood that's what it is.
But you got people like Dubby who are in direct opposition of people who actually are for our cause. That's why I would take Ryan Moody's side on this, because Dubby is literally in opposition of what we want out of a football game. He is. Moody has a very radical way of how he's going about it, but he does want the same shit that we want. He
That's
just has
true.
a different way of going about it. Dubby doesn't. Dubby doesn't want what we want. The people in his thread were saying shit like, "We don't care about simulation. We just want a fun game."
Yeah,
Right,
I
right,
saw
exactly,
that. I was
If you
looking at
want to play simulation
exactly.
football, go outside and throw the ball around.
half of them
Yeah,
can't even go outside and throw the football around.
that's the reason why they play the football game. They play Madden the way they play it.
That's what I'm saying.
Like it's funny, even with the current like health status I'm at, I could probably go out there and be better in football than they are. I'm like, good
That's what I'm
grief.
saying. So it's like that. If that's your argument against them making a realistic game is, oh, if you want a realistic game, go outside and play. Then blame them for calling their game a fucking simulation in the first place. Because we didn't name it that, and we didn't deem it that. They did. So if you're gonna deem your game a simulation, and then you're gonna cater to people who are outside of the simulation realm, there's a fucking problem. Period.
Yep.
So yeah, people like W are cancerous to Madden. They're cancerous. They're cancerous to what we want out of Madden. And I can't call Moody cancerous to what we want out of Madden. I can't say how productive he is towards it, but it's certainly not hurting it.
Right.
I don't know.
I can agree with that.
I don't know if Moody's videos are making a dent as far as what they're putting into the game, but it's not hurting it. W directly and people like him are directly hurting what we want out of a sim game.
Right.
So yeah, he can go to hell.
Uh, and then also,
That bullshit that he's talking about.
like he's a total hypocrite because he should know better because he's the same guy when he won the tournament back in 2017 was the one that was called out on those racial statements that
Wait a minute.
made.
He was the
That's
racist
the
one.
same. That's the same guy.
Oh, see, I forgot about that. I didn't know.
So he definitely
Yeah,
needs to
I knew it happened, but I didn't know it was him.
Yeah, I didn't. I had forgotten all about it until it was brought up. I forgot who brought it up on Twitter. Somebody brought it up and tagged myself, Moody, Gedden, and tagged us all in it. And I was just like, well, I remember when this originally came up, and I ignored it because it was just like, he has nothing to do with me. I'd never cross paths with him or whatnot. But then looking at the fact that the game has taken on the campaign of Black Lives Matter, and then all of a sudden it was just like, yeah, that even I don't know if he's made amends. I know he was heavily penalized at that time for those, but
Wow.
I'm in the firm belief that a person in
Wait,
public,
so this dude said the N word like 7 times.
But see, that's the thing. I know exactly what he did. I just couldn't remember that it was him. I
right?
remember that. I
So
remember when it happened. It just that
And
just shows you how much.
so, but wait a
yo,
minute, hold on. But wait a minute, let me finish this one. But I know I'm in the thought that a person in public with a certain status, quote unquote, will change publicly, but personally may not change. So to have a campaign like Black Lives Matter in the Madden game, it's just like you can't have somebody that's at the head of the tournament scene and push them out there as representing the Madden game with Black Lives Matter also in the campaign as the way it is. And
God,
then so the whole talk of, oh, my projection is sky high. I'm all about positivity. When you won the tournament, that's not what you were about in your tweets, and at the same time it's just like what you're doing now is negative. So what is it? He can't win.
yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. I mean, I'm 100%. And my thing is, I knew of the situation. I just did not remember it was him. That's crazy. That is nuts.
you know, W, I've asked for people's addresses before, but you just better hope I don't come across yours. That's all I can say about that.
Let's see. Jared says, "Good show, fellas." Okay, I got that. Doug Thomas also says, "Because you guys bring the truth and that fire when it comes to gaming and sports. That's why I love this podcast." Optimus Goop says, "We are radical as fuck."
Yeah, Moody is
Moody
radical.
is, I mean. Chris Thomas says, "W calls us CFM and Simhead bots." And Poser King says, "Yeah, we bots. Yeah, we're bots." Okay.
Well, bots is tame for him. He could call us niggas, right?
Mm,
Yeah.
Or
mm,
Porter's monkeys, based on those tweets, right?
mm.
We should call him Nubby because his head's like a fucking thumb.
Another. Oh,
Oh
yeah,
man.
it's crazy. I don't know. Y'all got anything else on this topic? I really don't. I just want to know, like, next generation. I'm continuously going to sidestep all of this because I think what we have here is I think we're growing something really big, and I appreciate everybody who comes to listen to us for those things. Just like Doug Thomas says, we try to give you guys the truth on any type of topic when it comes to gaming and sports. Hell, even with comedy, but it's more like we want you guys to get away from the bullshit. We want to have fun. We want to joke. We want to laugh at people. Like we can joke at Moody. We can joke at Dubby. But we're not here to just say like, oh man, I got to get a one up on them. Nah, they're clowns and we'll just leave it at that.
You know what though? I have one more thing to bring up about this that really rubs me the wrong way.
What's that?
That fucking clown in that video had the nerve to say, and Moody's probably gonna bring up the racist stuff that I said. Yeah, the fuck he is. That's like Jerry Sandusky. If somebody's gonna bring up me raping them kids, yeah, we are. We
Right,
are. You
right.
fucking idiot. Because that's kind of a big deal.
Right.
I like it. It's like one of those things. Like you should have thought about that when you was making those statements. I'm like, Twitter was Twitter even back then.
That's
Man.
crazy.
Fuck him.
He would actually put that out there. Like, you may say that, but that's okay. No, it's never okay.
Moody's gonna bring up me being racist now. Well, you're Mr. Positive, 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 right? Okay.
Whatever.
Like I
I'm
said,
like, if you did,
the only positive he is HIV positive. That's the only
wow,
positive W is. That's the only
wow.
positivity coming out of him.
I'm gonna sidestep that one. Chris Thomas asked our opinions on Rock that bought the XFL. I think it's a good thing because we actually thought it was dead in the water. Hopefully, it stays that way. DJ said there's an injunction on that, which
And
I think.
he only bought it, and him and his ex-wife and another, I guess, a third person, they bought it for 15 million.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
But it's funny because that's a cheaper price than Vince McMahon was running it as. So
Yeah.
that's
But you also gotta understand, you gotta think about it. Vince probably didn't think it was worth much, so he probably, you know, him.
well. Well, remember he had to go bankrupt, so he didn't sell it to them.
Oh yeah. You're
It was
right.
on the
You're right.
open market.
Oh, so yeah, I think he got a pretty good deal on,
That's what
especially
I'm saying.
if
Yeah,
they're able to bounce back and they actually get to play. I think they're gonna be in good. They're gonna be in good a good situation.
yeah. As long as St. Louis don't play Washington again.
But yeah, let's see. Jared says he hope the players get paid. I think one thing about the XFL, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, because we know that other
This is
league.
not the AAF.
Yeah, I'm about to say person got robbed. They robbed from that league when they.
Like the same people who did that were the same ones who helped out with IMV Gaming.
Oh God.
But yeah, I think they're in good hands, man. I think everything's going to be good. If anybody got any other quick topics y'all want to talk about, either you DJ or Bill to the chat, you know, drop them real quick. We're still early in the podcast. We try to go 2 hours. We only hour and a half in, so whatever y'all got, man, we can talk about real quick. Trying to think of anything I got.
Okay, because you do have like the ongoing. Let's see. I think what was it today at 4 o'clock was the deadline for players to opt out for the NFL season.
Yeah, did anybody do that before the deadline? Do you know?
Josh Dotson, which no one really cares about, he
He's
opted
on your
out.
team though, right?
No, he's not on anybody's team. I don't think.
He was a Redskin at one time though.
He was.
Okay.
Planned on signing me. Don't bother.
Yeah, it's like yeah. But when they opt out, they get like 350,000 or.
Well, wouldn't that be based on if he was on a team?
Oh, that's true. That's true. So
I was like, you
minute.
pay him money. He was a free agent.
I just thought about that. So he opted out of a situation, and he wasn't even on the team.
Well, let me see if he was actually on the team because last I checked, he wasn't on a team.
So Bills is like he don't have a job, but he's calling up Walmart saying, "Don't worry about it, I'm not coming in."
Like, who is he specifically telling this?
His last stat was matter of fact, last year he was on the Vikings. I know he got cut, but he doesn't. His last stats were from 2018.
No, he don't even count, bro. He don't even count.
That's what I'm saying. I said nobody probably cares about this dude. But
like, he don't have a job, but he's calling up. He calling up employers like, don't worry about it.
That's like OJ Mayo, like, hey, just in case y'all plan on reinstating me, don't bother. I'm like thinking about you.
Right. It's like, what kind of mess is that? I'm like, I thought, because when you said Josh Dodson, I thought he was on the Redskins still, because I remember he used to be a Redskin.
Yeah.
To show you as far
as
he
was. Last roster he was on the Vikings roster, and they cut him. They cut him in the middle of the season.
Look at Steve Blake calling the Trailblazers
like, hey, listen. Like, y'all don't have to bother, man. I'm not showing up for practice. Like, bro, what? God. That's crazy. It's like, how you gonna call up a job that you don't have, telling me you're not coming in?
Wait a minute. They say he was on the Jets. Hold on, but let me see how recent that was.
Somebody said FIFA 21 trailer came out.
Really?
Yeah, he played in one game as a Viking.
Let me watch this real quick.
So I got a question. So FIFA 21 is coming out. You think they're going to make any changes for next gen? Because they pretty much got it ended up being a shit show at the end of the generation.
Talked about. I saw some features, like a feature set. They talked about, I guess, like dribbling and enhanced AI. This game still looks very arcadey. Like the way it moves is just very tricky. I don't know. It's something about it is just.
I don't know. Ever since, let me tell you something. Ever since that dude went in on on FIFA, it's like that game never recovered.
Yeah, that I have not looked back when it
Yeah,
comes
ever
to
since
FIFA.
they
Matter of
ever
fact,
like,
on my stream yesterday, somebody was asking me, "Do I favor PES over FIFA?" And somebody showed up. They was like, "You're playing PES over FIFA?" I was like, "Damn right, I'm playing PES over FIFA. Fuck FIFA."
I was like I said, it was something about that guy because he was like, I think he's like the biggest like soccer Twitch person in the world or something.
Hmm.
He did the like he was like the most popular. So I mean, ever since he turned his back on ever since he turned his back on FIFA, the game has not been the same.
Game
That's,
is just so you know what I when I knew that FIFA wasn't gonna be shit even next gen when they showed gameplay and everything else was CGI for the most
uh,
part, and then they showed FIFA and I'm looking at it, I'm like, this shit don't even look good if it's CGI.
Oh, Miami's actually playing a game.
Jared asked, "Does Lamar Jackson deserve the #1 spot playing
No,
in the NFL over
no,
Mahomes?"
No,
no,
I'm gonna say no.
don't care if he won MVP. No,
I thought overall I do think Mahomes is the better player.
this
Lamar
show
Jackson is the more dynamic.
FIFA's
I can
talking about positional awareness too. I mean, they're doing some stuff with AI, but natural collision system is not.
Nah, yeah, PES has a natural collision system. It's called the Fox engine.
They just, you know what this is? This is the same thing they did with the quarterbacks in Madden. Man, get out of here, man.
Hmm.
The fucking
There's
version of what they did with man
see.
fundamentals of football. What is this about to be about? They're bragging about putting the fundamentals. Oh, come on, bro.
Hmm.
and my kid says FIFA's been pretty terrible for 2 years.
Yeah, pretty
It's been
much.
an abomination for the past couple years. Holy shit! Like I said, licensing's been getting them by, man.
Remember, did they show in that trailer the person like going like zigzag at 100 miles per hour? Like he was doing all the moves. He did them in like 2 seconds. I was just like, wait a minute, hold up. Nobody moves that fast. Come on,
Like I
come
said,
on.
I'll take Madden on current gen. FIFA can no, no.
Right.
PES 22. I'll be there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Well,
Chris Thomas says he think UFC 4 is out already on EA Access.
wait, what? Hold on. Don't
That's
play
what he
that.
just said.
Oh boy, now we got somebody running.
Don't do that, Chris Thomas. Don't do that. Don't blame me.
That's what he said. He said he think.
Wait, hold up. Breaking news.
All right, what's that?
True Sim Gamer just uploaded a video.
Oh yeah, I saw him on the Sim Standard podcast chat. Yeah, he's probably talking about Madden 21, isn't he?
Oh, you gonna
No,
say
he's
so?
talking about. Yeah, he's talking about his. He just uploaded a video. I guess just now.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
the title of it is "The Sim Football Community Needs to Rise Above Madden NFL Today." So, and he's one of the old.
And
OG
he's one of the original members of the Sim
yeah,
Standard. I remember the last time he did a video prior to that, he did one on the PlayStation 4 when it was just about to be released. So we're talking about 7-year gap.
Chris Thomas, that shit ain't up yet, bruh.
Fake news.
I'm checking right
yeah.
now. You know, if I go to Twitter, you lying?
Either he redid his channel, or because I guess his old channel is gone. Because
Send me the link because I know. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Send me the link to it. I'm gonna check him out because Truth
okay,
Sim Game has always been a. He always put out good
Yeah, Chris Thomas.
content.
I don't think it's out yet, bro. I'm looking on Twitter right now, and I checked on EA Access. It's not out. I think it's coming out at 12 midnight. People keep saying, but they usually drop it the day before. Like
get
I know they usually say Thursday.
So when UFC 4 is coming out, is it like the full game on EA Access?
Yeah, 10 hours.
Oh, you talking about the trial? Okay. Gotcha.
But I think people get it early if they pre-order. I don't remember how early though.
Speaking of access, you know what? I think I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna repurchase Xbox Game Pass for PC. It is so much stuff you can get on there. And I cancel my subscription. I wish I didn't. But
okay. Chris changed his mind. He said yes tomorrow. My bad.
this is tomorrow.
Man,
Doom, doom,
Oh wow.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I'm think I'm gonna go back and get Xbox. Well, they call it Game Pass now because they changed the name. I think I'm gonna get that again for PC. I kind of miss it. And for $9 a month at the minimum, you
Yeah,
get some pretty good stuff.
man, I
Yeah,
agree.
that's probably like the best deal in gaming right
Hey,
now.
I agree with Jared. Y'all hit the like button.
Yeah, I agree. I
Go
agree.
ahead, hit that like button.
Yeah, even though Jared's a North Carolina fan, hit the like button.
I
Yeah, I just hit the like button.
need I need I need
Yay.
to go, I need to go up there and I need to holler at Jared. He lives up there in Charlotte. I told him I was gonna come up there and catch him one day, but I never well, I've been up there, but I haven't had the time to check out what he's doing. What if he still works at this spot? I don't want to put him out there, but
Right, I'm about to say, I was like, don't
yeah,
tell me.
if he does, I might have to look into that.
I want to talk about this playoff race in the NBA getting kind of interesting in the Western Conference because Memphis lost their second best player, and now I think they're only
Well, Philly,
game and a half.
Ben Simmons is actually hurt now.
Well,
I
they're
think
going to
I
struggle in the playoffs, but I mean, I'm talking about the Western Conference, like the eight seed is like they were originally 3.5 games up, and
Oh
now
shit,
ooh,
Texas, goddamn. Okay.
hey man, they go in a completely different direction.
Oh, my bad, Bills. I just saw he's a because he used to live in Charlotte and now he lives in Texas. I'm like, well, damn.
so yeah, the Grizzlies are literally a game up on the Trailblazers. So if the Trailblazers win today, it's going to be tied.
Okay.
The Pelicans are pretty much falling out of contention. It's the Trailblazers and the Suns at this
I
point.
I just think they I hate the fact that the media themselves hyped up the Pelicans way too much. I think that's the problem with that team. Let them be who they are. They have the talent. They will get there. Don't do it. They're like
It,
2 or 3 years away, bro.
the
Like,
issues that the issues that Zion didn't play half the season, and Gentry decided to put him on some stupid minutes restriction for the first couple games, and they got blown out. And,
mhm.
and then the games that Zion played big minutes, they won, and now they're back to taking L's. I mean, they're 2.5 games back. Anything can happen, but what? There's only like 2 games left.
Right.
So at this point, yeah, it's the Suns and the Spurs, and then the Kings are 2.5 games back, and the Pelicans are 2.5 games back. So that's going to be interesting. And then yeah, the Sixers are going to get the Celtics in the first round, which I think they're definitely going to lose now if Ben doesn't come back with that kneecap injury.
Right.
LeBron's out tonight; he's just resting. Um,
Hmm.
Yeah, I just think that it's a little too early to try to get the Pelicans where they want them to be for obviously for ratings or whatever the case may be. I just think they're not there yet, and that's okay.
Zion's not out of shape. Where are people getting this idea?
Yeah, everybody keeps saying that.
He's got a different body type than everybody else.
But
He's
people
in
said that
shape.
Charles Barkley was out of shape in '88 when he was going full court and banging on dudes. What is this foolishness?
No, see, my thing is, I already had my reserves about his body type for being so big and so fast, but I never thought it was a point where he's completely out of shape and he can't do what he do.
But that's what.
Because
I
I
think
don't think he's out of shape. I don't know.
I think people just stuck on certain body types in certain sports.
Yeah, they just have this cookie cutter vision of what dude should be, and he dropped weight during the whatchamacallit. He dropped weight during the quarantine.
Right.
It's look, it's not that he doesn't have to drop weight, OG, but to say he's out of shape is completely different. If you think that for his health that he needs to drop weight because he jumps too high to be able to sustain.
Wait a minute. He's the second heaviest player in the league. I didn't know
Oh
that.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
but what I'm saying is, in order for him, but see, that's what I'm saying. His knees aren't going to go take the pounding. Is more an argument than saying that he's out of shape.
Oh
I
my.
think if you're going to say based on his body type, he jumps too high to sustain that at that weight. That's one thing. But
Mm.
to say he's out of shape, nah, come on.
Now, here's another question I do have because I remember seeing a couple of times of Zion driving. Do you think he takes too long of strides at times? Because I remember when he rolled his ankle, he literally took two stride lengths, like in one stride, to try to make a move, and nobody. Bill had to learn to shorten his strides a little bit, making certain
He's
moves.
like Bo Jackson, bro. It's like a lot of his shit is just natural, not really like.
No, I
I
don't
don't.
know. I mean, I don't. I mean, like I said, me personally, I don't know. I don't think he's out of shape from what I've seen. But I mean, I don't. We at the end of the day, we kind of like don't know.
Yeah,
But
because if you want to judge someone
Watch
being out of shape, you just see how winded they are. That's basically that right there. But then it's just like,
anybody know why they're limiting his minutes like that?
because they claim he didn't have time in training camp, so he's out of quote unquote
But
basketball.
whoa, wasn't he
but
also?
all this time has passed though. It's not like the regular season been going on this entire time. I don't. Something's weird about that.
Bro, you're talking about his run, his running motion. That has nothing to do with him being out of shape. If you want to say he's out of basketball shape, that's one thing. Don't say he's out of shape, because that's just plain no. That's not true.
That's just my opinion. I don't think he is, but it just I don't know. I don't know what's going on, and I just got to be honest and just say I don't know. But something isn't right about the whole situation, and and something needs to be resolved about that because it's
So
just
Okay, there's OG. He says he doesn't think he's in NBA shape.
okay.
NBA shape, he's been he because he hurt his knee this year,
Hmm.
and he hasn't played much as far as the NBA games are concerned. These are his first NBA games, but I do think he needs to drop the weight. I just don't think it's a matter of him being out of shape.
I
There's a
Right.
think,
di- yeah, it's there's a difference between NBA shape and just in shape in general. I mean,
and I think on some of his drives, he just needs to like learn to be more in control, like shorten his gait on just driving. Not
wait,
send him the
what?
link.
Hey, you said stop the excuse. Who's making excuses, bro?
Oh,
Yeah, you asked me if I've ever played ball. You're starting to sound like you haven't played sports of any kind.
all
I
right.
don't know what you're talking about.
AVF, you got that? You
Yeah,
want
give me
to?
a second. Yeah, give me a second.
Okay.
I got it. Yeah,
So
but I don't know. It's just something. I mean, I'll be honest. I haven't been following the NBA since they came back. I just find the whole thing weird. Something about it isn't right, in my opinion.
It's like
like
I
I
said. If you're calling Zion out of shape based on his build, then you need to go back and watch Charles Barkley because right now what you're calling excuses are legit reasons. And like I said, Zion might be out of basketball shape, but as far as in shape or not, no, that's ridiculous.
and I
It's
look at the certain injuries that he has had. I feel like a lot of times he may overstride when he's either attacking the basket or or maybe when he comes down, he probably comes down stiff,
okay.
so he doesn't like cushion himself as much
So,
as.
so Poster King, the year Shaq won the MVP, he wasn't in shape. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I mean, I just find something wrong with it. His minutes are limited. I don't think he is, but I mean, he doesn't play as much as I think he should. It's just something isn't right about it. I don't.
Kids will say, "Oh, well, Kobe said if respect." And
I'm
Yeah,
like
Kobe, son. Ooh, hey
I
man,
I
listen.
do.
Listen, this old this. Hey, I'm falling in love with this basketball game, man.
like I just think there's a difference between NBA shape and actual shape. If you're in the NBA, there's a certain shape that you have to be in that comes along with just plain playing. It's just like they say in wrestling. You can't be in wrestling shape unless you actually wrestle. You
Oh
can't
my,
be in football shape unless you actually play football. He
mhm.
hasn't played competitive basketball in months. That's
All
not
right,
much.
we got Scott O'Gallagher back here, and what's going on?
How are we doing, fellas? Let's
What's
let's
up,
Doing,
brother?
let's
doing
really
good.
let's get it cracking. Yes, he is out of shape in NBA terms and NBA terms only.
Yes,
Mm, there you
Okay.
go.
I agree with that. I think I agree with you as far as like sustaining those. I mean, he's such a freak athlete that a lot of that jumping at that weight. I mean, he's what 275 at least 280. So I mean, at that size, yeah. I mean, after about 5 years, that's going to really take a toll on his knees. So I do agree that he should get down to probably I don't know 260, 270.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I think the worst thing that happened was the injury, right? So that
Yeah,
hmm
injury at the beginning of the season
Yeah,
that people are forgetting after this layoff.
yeah.
I mean, that was all types of security reasons and everything else for that happening, for them,
Mhm.
going with the minutes restriction. But at the same time, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I don't think I would have brought him back if they were going to just put him on the minutes restriction. To be
And
honest,
that's the thing. I was thinking it's something really weird about that. I don't understand why after all of this time,
Hmm.
he's still playing like 15, 12 minutes. I find that really weird.
What got
It,
me, Scott OG, is they said that the minutes restriction didn't have to do with his injury. That's why I was criticizing
And
them.
that's another reason why I'm like I thought it was injury based, but they said it's not. That's why I'm like, well, what's going on here?
it's probably. I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard anything personally, but I mean, you could tell that he's got at least cut probably 20 to 30. I mean, even when Barkley, you make a good point about Barkley Bills, he was much skinnier in Philly, right?
Yeah,
Than what Zion, I was like I put in the chat that he's just behind Boban as the second
mm,
heaviest player in the league.
Do you think
And
it's more so Zion's frame though?
for sure, but I'm just saying, like, he's also one of the most explosive athletes we've ever seen. So
Hmm.
the torque on those knees,
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's already
yeah.
happened, right? So, and then
I agree.
you figure he had the blowout of the shoe at Duke.
I was looking
We
at that
really
too.
we really don't know the problems that could have caused, and we can guess and assume. But I mean, are we just gonna? He's like, no, he's completely fine. Um,
No, I definitely agree he has to lose weight. I just like,
I'm
I mean,
sitting there.
oh
Like
god,
honestly, I'm sitting there. I'm just looking at now, not his walking gait. I'm okay. That's a separate issue or whatever. I don't think that's an issue. I think on his drives, his gait on his drives. I know certain moves you take a longer gait than usual. But I know when he rolled his ankle, it looked like he overstrided a bit, and also stepped on somebody else's foot as well. So I remember Bradley Beal had that issue, and Bradley Beal doesn't have a weight issue or whatnot, but a lot of his injuries early on because he was overstriding when he would do his step backs. When he's driving through the lane, he would take too long of a stride instead of like shortening the stride. And I see that the way Bill plays now, you don't see as many of the. Matter of fact, Bill hasn't really been hurt that much at all. But I see that his strides are a little bit more under control, more his gaits are shortened, even on the step backs, and he's doing just fine. I feel like with Zion, I think eventually he'll learn to. Somebody has to get with him on his footwork,
they've already
and
been working with him on it, but I think that his I think his footwork in general is fine, but yeah, his regular running motion and then when he explodes
because it
seems
seems
to
like when he runs, it's like plop, 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 and that's a pounding on your knees no matter how much
Yeah,
weight you
I
have.
know. I noticed that
they
too.
said they had to teach him they had to reteach him how to run and actually reteach him how to walk too. They were
DJ, I
saying
think the only thing that you should be concerned about is your guys' terrible seating in the East that you're going to get for the next 10 years.
Oh man, the Wizards.
Jesus.
I look
Don't
at it
feel
like
bad. I'm a Bulls fan, so I can't. I
John
know.
Wall,
it's not.
you guys went all in on John Wall. I think I told everybody that wasn't going to work prior to the injury.
Thoughts, DJ?
This it's hard to combat that,
Wall,
but
Westbrook, Steve Francis,
oh
Stephon
god,
Marbury. Let's just keep it going.
I
Oh man.
High
Damn,
see.
you putting
volume,
Wall in that?
inefficient guards.
Wow.
No,
I
that's probably high, right? I'm just talking about guys who pound the hell out of it, don't shoot it at a high percentage, but have high usage rates.
Got you.
See, the thing is with the Wizards organization in the past gives me no ammo to really compete with that argument because we've had bad management in the past. And right now, I feel like with Shepard as the GM, he's going to reshape that team in his image. So right now, John Wall not being the guy, it's Beal's team. And if we sign Bertans in the offseason because he's a free agent,
That's a solid pickup. Yeah, but you got
it,
John Wall on the Bobby Bonilla contract. I don't even think it
that's
even kicked
that's
in for
under
him.
old management though. So it's like that's going to be the legacy of old management. Grunfield, I forgot, and I think Wall was there what was it the last? Yeah, that's gonna be under old. That's legacy under old management. So it's
Just
just
to
like,
just to cut in real quick,
mhm.
OG, I think if Eric Bledsoe never got traded to Milwaukee, he'd be the same type of guy.
For sure. Yeah, I've never been big on on him either. Um,
His perfect spot to me was the Clippers.
yeah.
Then he went to Phoenix and he performed decent on a bad team. Everybody overvalued that. And then he went to the Bucks and you saw him get exposed by the likes of Terry Rozier as
Oh, that was bad.
a bit of an overrated defender, a guy who has an unreliable jump shot,
Hmm.
um, and dribbles the hell out of the ball, which isn't really Milwaukee's system.
Right.
Um, but just looking at John Wall and just thinking about how they play a bit similar, I think John Wall obviously is a better distributor than him when he isn't dribbling the air out of the ball. But God, I mean, I just look at Bledsoe and see if he was on a team by himself, he'd be the same thing.
One thing I do see about Wall when he comes back, it's obviously not going to be the John Wall prior to all these injuries. Obviously, Beal's a lot better than what he was when Wall they last played together, and he's gonna have other options. I think this time, even though the Wizards haven't won a game in this stretch, or it seems like at all, um, the roster is gaining valuable experience. Roy's gonna have valuable experience. They're actually keying on him, these other teams, while they play against them. It's going to be interesting to see when they play against the Pelicans, to see how this team plays together and gains more chemistry based off of that.
For sure. I don't disagree. I'm just I'm not a hater, but I'm just not in the John Wall Russell Westbrook fan club, and I'm
Uh,
just letting people like yourself know who have followed for years
What do you
that
think?
everything is validated, especially
What do
Chuck Brook.
I was gonna say,
oh damn!
wow.
Yeah,
What do you think about what do you think about Brooklyn next year? How do you think Kyrie and KD are gonna fit together?
That's a good question because
geez, I don't know. I go back and forth with that one, right? Because I mean, the Kenny Atkinson, the head coach leaving.
Mm.
Um, what does KD look like when he comes back? His game doesn't really revolve around athleticism, so he's fine, right?
Mhm.
He's still going to be able
yeah,
to
right.
get to his spot. He's super skilled, footwork's impeccable. Probably one of the top 5 greatest scorers we've ever had.
Easily.
So, um, man, I don't know. Like I used to end up having to debate Kyrie actually at this point before LeBron came. So it was,
Mm.
Kyrie's been
and I was telling people that Kyrie, I had individuals tell me that Jeff Teague was going to be better than Kyrie.
What?
I will keep them nameless.
Jeff
what do
Footy.
you
Jeff
think?
Teague. And I just laughed. Yep, trust me.
Wow.
There's loads of
Wow.
stuff that I've gotten, over the past 6, 7 years on that. And
I
I was like,
remember
just
when
wait.
Jeff was getting exposed in the
In
series.
Atlanta, but remember they took that, right? I think John Wall even embarrassed him.
Yeah.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Kyrie, to me, when I look at just offensive skill and his toolbox of scoring a basketball, I think is up there with close to I think as far as the point guard position goes, he's the best ever as far as his toolbox of scoring the basketball.
Well, he's definitely the best finisher. It's him, probably Rod Strickland.
But then you put his
Or
handle
smart
right.
finishers.
You couple that with his handle
Oh,
and his
handle
ability
best
to
ever.
shoot.
I would say is his best ever. Why is it the best ever? It's because it's like you see Jamal Crawford do his thing, but it's
Yes.
more
Mhm.
east west, and he's dancing out top.
Yes.
Not that he
Right.
hasn't done other crazy stuff. The movie pulled off against Darren Williams, that behind the
Mhm.
back gather.
Yep.
But I'm talking about like Kyrie is consistently getting out of traffic.
Yes.
Like I don't know any ball handlers that are doing. Remember what he did against Team USA when he was like in his second or third year in the league in
Yep.
practice?
Yeah.
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 I mean, it's insane. And when we talk about handle, Steph doesn't get enough credit. Steph
He
should
doesn't.
get way more credit for his handle than he
He
does.
doesn't.
That
And
handle
I
is
think Trey Young has a
phenomenal.
great handle too.
Yep.
But I mean, yeah, so Kyrie, best handle ever. Kyrie at his position, best finisher ever. then he can knock down jump shots. I mean, mid range, right? That mid range game that's so undervalued. Can spot up. Can hit tough threes off the dribble. It's like when you look at his skill set. I mean, the dude is ridiculous. But I guess the reason why I'm questioning him and KD is because the reason him and LeBron worked so much is because LeBron was fine with playing point guard. And
Mhm.
LeBron can get his offense in the flow of the game, which KD can too. But is KD going to turn into a distributor? I don't really see that happening. So who would be the Nets? Who would be initiating the plays on the Nets is the interesting thing to me.
Yeah, that one will still be Kyrie for sure. I mean, you look at the East, they're third. Most people will probably have them second, I'm assuming, when they come back next year, right? I think they're better than Indiana. They're better than Miami. Boston is probably the questionable one. And then now you're looking at Toronto and Milwaukee. And don't be surprised if Toronto comes out of the East.
I heard somebody else say that too.
Well, we were talking about Toronto after they beat the Lakers. It was just like you can't sleep on a team
They
that
beat
has
them
a
soundly
high chemistry.
twice with
Yeah.
pre Rona, after Rona.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
they have some
Milwaukee's
question
fool's
to 'em.
gold to me, but
If
um,
if Giannis can shoot it decently, but they're well
Mm.
coached, they defend well.
they
So
do. But looking at how that supporting cast kind of performs in big moments, in big games in the past, I mean, you saw what
Because
happened.
then what's the name? Shoot them out the series, basically.
I mean, I saw them against Boston, and if it wasn't for Kyrie being a complete cancer, along with what you would call it, Terry Rozier in that series, Boston would have probably beaten them in five. But
Mm.
they were so freaking just discombobulated mentally. I mean, I saw them for an entire game make Giannis look like pretty much an ordinary player by funneling him to a spot in the paint, high
mhm.
hands. He couldn't shoot over him. They weren't fouling, and Milwaukee shooters weren't knocking down shots. And then that all changed because Boston got discombobulated, couldn't get anything done on offense. Kyrie was taking every shot in the gym, and that was that. But when I see Milwaukee, it's like there aren't many teams that are set up to really defend them consistently well because they're so versatile. But God, I mean, Toronto could get it done. I think Boston, their height might give them an issue, but I think Boston's versatility might give Milwaukee some problems.
But I mean, you look at Milwaukee, right? Milwaukee's going to play Orlando probably in the first round, right?
Yeah.
So they'll that's a four gamer,
Yep.
maybe five.
Yeah.
Okay, so then they're going to go right, and then they're going to play the 4-5 matchup, Miami and Indiana.
I think they might lose to Miami.
Indiana, may I don't, yeah, maybe
I think Miami is a good matchup for Milwaukee. I
it
should
is.
say I think they're a
It's a
bad matchup for Milwaukee, and I think it's a good matchup for Miami.
so that one, where that kind of where these teams finish is, I guess Miami and Indy won't matter as much, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't see Indy beating Miami round one.
I still think it's Milwaukee and Toronto. Toronto's just they've impressed the hell out of me all year, even without Kawhi. So
I have to see Kyle Lowry perform in another playoff the way he did last year. Especially now that Kawhi's gone, he kind of elevated a lot of those guys. It's like who's going to be that guy now? Pascal.
he's getting there. He's getting there. Pascal's tough, and he's an all-star.
No,
He
he's
had a good
no,
year
he's
this
a
year.
baller, but getting into the playoffs,
It's a different game. Absolutely.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
that's what we talked about. I like to joke, you heard it here first, but remember I talked about that with the Nuggets on the podcast last year.
Hey, and we need to quit the hate on LeBron, all of you.
Hey, wait a minute.
Whoa, all of
Wait a minute. All of us who hates LeBron?
I just felt like saying it. It was probably none of you, but the
Nah.
whole thing of LeBron is, hey man, just wait till he gets to the West, or if he ever played the West, then he gets the 1 seed, and dudes are still out here giving Giannis the MVP.
Right.
So,
so you're
100%, yes, LeBron MVP. Yep.
Mm.
I mean, I agree. I just don't hear it much. That's
Yeah, because
interesting.
it's LeBron fatigue.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
It
we've
is.
had
pretty
LeBron
much.
fatigue for years.
People won't
Hmm.
accept that either, but that is sort of the LeBron fatigue, much like there was an MJ fatigue. Like,
Yeah,
give it
MJ
to
only
this
having
guy,
5 MVPs. Come
give
on
it to
now.
this guy. He's having a career year. Who
Yeah,
cares? Jordan's averaging 30 on 49% shooting.
yeah. I mean,
Pretty much.
Barkley shouldn't have got the one over he did. Was that 93?
93. I was 93.
That was Jordan's, but Barkley should have got it, I believe, in 89-90 when Magic got it over him.
Mm.
So
That
Magic,
one was a travesty.
yeah, Barkley won in first place votes,
Oh,
but
that's
yeah,
crazy.
for somehow didn't get second place votes or whatever. So people either voted for him or they even left him off or voted him third. And
Magic
Magic got the second one and
Magic
got
was
in there.
the MVP in 1990, and they didn't even freaking. Did they even lose to Portland that year in the play? Who did they lose? Did they get upset in the playoffs that
It's
year?
in 90. They did not make it. They made it in 91. So they beat Portland. They upset Portland in 91.
Damn, so they didn't make the playoffs at all in 1990?
Magic was there 9 times in 12 years.
Yeah.
People forget about that. 3 MVPs, 5 championships, but yet people just leave him off in every Mount Rushmore or every
I hate that.
type of debate.
I
But
hate
yeah,
that. I hate that, but I hate it more the disrespect that Larry Bird gets though. Because he
that's
gets
another
even
one.
less respect than Magic.
He couldn't play today, but Joe Ingles can. My bad.
Yeah, that.
Exactly. Bird was like he was like Gordon Hayward mentally, Doncic skill wise, minus the dribbling, pretty much. He was a guy who couldn't run or jump and average 10 boards for his career. Shot the lights out, and yes, if he shot more threes, his percentage wouldn't change. People. Post. I mean, God, in the post, he had every move. He had left hand, right hand.
Yeah, remember that one game he was like, I'm just gonna play left handed against Drexler.
Right. Yeah.
22.
Good old overrated Clyde.
Hey, don't let Gideon hear you say that.
Look, Scott OG. That's one thing. That's one hill I would die on is that Clyde Drexler would not nearly be as coveted or productive these days.
God, that depends on who you ask. I've had some interesting debates about that one. Because are you telling me he can't do what DeMar DeRozan does?
I don't think he had as the mid-range game DeMar DeRozan does off the dribble. And I think DeMar DeRozan dribbles far better with his left hand too.
Oh God. Lamar Odom made a career of never going right. So
you know, he's not really on these guys' levels though.
No, I know, but we are talking DeMar DeRozan.
Look, we're not
don't slander Lamar Odom's name like that, sir.
Gonna slander DeMar DeRozan either. He's not a top shooting guard in the league anymore.
No.
But one time he was. I still think he needs to develop a bit of a three ball, but he's
as you
right.
can tell, I have never been on the DeMar DeRozan fan.
I mean, look, he wasn't doing Toronto any favors with some of his playoff performances, but neither was Kyle Lowry, and everybody loves him.
Fellas, where are we at with gaming right now? I want to know why do I keep coming in here and there's nothing but Bills going Master Shredder on people? Like, what is it when you guys put in a game in a console that is going to make you happy?
Oh, for me,
the thing is, it's not making it. Funny,
Yeah.
everybody else is like just going batshit crazy because
yeah, but I mean,
they just. I don't know if they're not happy with their lives. I don't know if they're not happy.
Okay, hold up, Paul. Let's peel back here. As your boy, like, just tell me, hey, like, I put in the game, whatever it is. Could be an RPG, an FPS.
I mean, I've been on.
You guys know I play everything, right?
Me too.
Right.
I'm 23 seasons in Retro Bowl.
Wow. That's crazy.
So,
no, but me, I've been on Shadow of Mordor.
mhm.
Oh goodness, I've been playing that a lot. I've been playing Gran Turismo Sport. As far as the retro stuff, man, name it. I've been playing a couple PlayStation 2 games. Jinchi, Way of the Samurai.
Okay.
Uh, Goodness, I like I own a lot of
Oh,
consoles, and at least out of the five of the consoles, I got one game that I'm running a game on trying to complete. So I've
Hmm.
been on a good bit of stuff over here.
Yeah, and I got, State of Decay 2 that I'm constantly on. I actually did a stream, and thanks by the way for following me on Twitch. Uh,
Always.
but yeah, there's State of Decay 2. I still play No Man's Sky, which everybody swore off that game after it initially came out in 2016, but I stuck with it, and it had free updates and
You know how many
expansions.
people? You know how many people I talked to, and I said, "Did you play Retro Bowl?" And they said, "Oh, yeah, it's blah blah blah," or it was like Tecmo or blah blah blah. I'm like, really?
That's the
Like you see a lot of people that just dive out after the first, I swear, it
I've
seemingly
heard a lot
around
of, I heard a
10
handful of
minutes.
people really like it.
So
And uh,
that's what I'm asking you guys of like,
um,
where are you guys at right now? Like, I hear you guys all the time. You guys are, we talk a lot on Twitter and social media and all
yeah,
that.
I'm also on Project Cars too. I've been really big on racing games as of late. Like I'm playing Project Cars 2, like I said, Gran Turismo Sport. I play a lot of games on my original Xbox. I'm a big original Xbox fan.
Mhm.
I basically collect for that console. So,
well,
I've been, oh, go ahead, Bills.
I'll be honest with you, OG. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I play like 30 days of 2K, so 2K
I
is
saw
all
that.
my
I
real.
saw that. What do you play the most?
Um, Honestly, I play a lot of Play Now. I like playing with different teams. I
Yeah.
love my league, but I've been playing a lot of Play Now, kind of working on my roster. My league is amazing.
I
Uh,
agree because I play that as well. I'm on that as well on PC. I
my
agree.
career, I would play more, but I would like there to be sliders in the mode, just full
mm.
transparency there. Um, but my career is fun. And yeah, I mean, I mostly play now. Honestly, I enjoy kind of just playing with different teams and seeing how they operate.
Yeah. I've been on 2K20 on as far as like I said, I have like five different platforms I play on. And as far as PC, like I've been playing Project Cars 2, Shadow Mordor. I have been playing NBA 2K20 as well.
Hmm.
And I've been having a blast with my Bulls dynasty. Not doing the best, but I'm having
Hmm.
fun.
But but
you
but
know.
but yeah, and these are outstanding answers. They're always helpful for me. But my big thing is like when you put in a game,
Mhm.
let's talk sports, for example, or we can talk hoops, 2K. You put that in, you expect what? Like, what is a good experience for you? Like, you say,
Oh.
it can't have this, or I didn't like it because of this, or, what changes? Like, you guys were talking about your favorite ones in the past, or like
Mhm.
when we first put Ace into 16, and that was super different, right? That made
Hmm.
every game from here on
That,
out, right, a different experience. Um,
yeah, that one got me when
Yeah.
you guys put in Ace because I always expect the AI to present some type of challenge. I know today's day and age, everybody's playing user on user, and
hmm
for me, I don't play online really. I only play online for like first person shooters and stuff like that. So for a sports game, I want my own thing going, my own world. So my league is perfect. So
Yeah.
have to go up against teams and have to strategize based on whichever team, whatever the coaching profile uh, that team executes their system. I want to be able to manage, playing against different teams, different strategies, and stuff like that. Manage my own roster. Like I'm more of like like resource management.
hmm
Um, played through a season because I think I've only played through one full season in my league, and that was in 2K15.
Yeah,
And
the first year my league came, I believe.
Yeah. It was the first year.
Mhm.
so that and obviously my league is the really the main mode I play.
Nice.
So when I look at Madden, I look at their franchise mode,
Yep.
like,
Yep.
it's not much going on there. And now look at MLB The Show, their franchise mode. It's got it going on. I'd say between 2K and MLB, the franchise mode is pretty good. Now the sleeper is NHL.
That's another good one. Yeah.
So, but the thing is like I feel like they're still behind gameplay wise as far as strategies and just depth in that way. And also with their AI, I think they could be better off on their AI to make their franchise mode a lot better.
Hmm.
I mean, for me, when I put a sports game in, the thing I pay attention to gameplay wise is I want to see the separation between superstars, good players, regular players, and bad players.
Hmm.
Um, and that's in any sports game. I think that is the true sign of authenticity is how the players are reflected compared to their real life counterparts. You know, I should be able to watch a game with the Lakers and the Nuggets and see the CPU play and say, okay, yeah, just like real life, I can see LeBron's the best player on the court. And it
Right.
doesn't even have to be scoring. It's just like, the way he affects the game, the way he impacts the game. You can say, yeah, I can look at that guy. I can tell that he is by far the best player on the court,
Hmm.
and he's affecting the game in the ways that LeBron would affect the game, right? And then you can see other players affect the game negatively, whether it's Dion Waiters dribbling the ball too much, or you use an example of John Wall, or you can really see that there's a player that is hurting a team's offense, like for example Andre Roberson who can't shoot, or Ben Simmons
Mm.
who can't shoot,
Hmm.
things like that.
Yep.
Um, I want to see that. I want immersion, obviously. With the TV broadcast that you guys bring, I want to see immersion and make it feel like I'm, even when I'm playing, that I'm kind of watching a broadcast. Camera angles and things like that. You guys do a pretty good job of
Yeah.
that.
But
I
you
mean,
guys all brought up good stuff as far as, or I guess VF go.
Oh, I
He,
mean, as far as me, I mean, I just want authentic experience. I mean, my thing is what I see
Okay,
on the
okay, hold up.
court.
Okay,
Oh,
hold
go
up.
ahead.
So sorry to cut you off, but this
No, go
you guys
ahead.
you guys talked about last time. This is what I'm trying to get at, and
mhm.
this is why I'm coming on too. I like this because you'll give me, you'll shoot it straight, as a lot of other people do, but you guys always do a really good job of like authentic experience. Like explain that, right? Because I think right now you look at that, or you look at in other games too. Right? Ball tangibility is a big one.
Yeah.
Right.
mhm.
Um, how real should it how can that be, because you guys probably see the stuff that I go about, right? We'll make something, oh, it's overly tangible, or now it's not enough, or you know what I'm saying,
Mm.
and there's just
Gotcha.
I've
Yeah,
enough
been
that's
wondering
it.
about
hashmouth
that
game that
after the answer
that
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 question.
goes on, and it's not like I disagree with anybody in there, or so it's always just kind of fun to hear what people think of
No,
fun, competitive, like the whole term of like lurker. Like I've never heard anybody be able to take out six zones before, right? To
right.
me, that's not
Right.
fun,
Crazy.
but for somebody else, that may be fun. That's why I don't like the word fun, because fun is relative.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's true.
You know,
That's a very good point. And that's why I never. I understand when people say they want to have fun because
Mhm.
that's why I like I pretty much keep it to what their personal preference. So I never like try to use that in the game. But when I say authentic experience, my main thing is like what I see when I watch on TV. I wanted to replicate that, and I want to be able to use the playbooks, the movement, the plays that are in the game to actually beat the AI and or a user if I'm playing against them. I don't want them to have to use any kind of wonky type of gameplay or whatever to cheese or actually manipulate the AI. And I don't want the AI to manipulate me on the sake of difficulty. If I'm going up against a certain team, I want them to play true to form and give me their best shot at the same time for me to overcome and get the W. So when I go to the next game, it'd be more of a progression of the team's chemistry, my interpretation of the team that I'm building, and actually because like DJ said, he's a my league person. I'm a my league person. I play franchise on Madden or NHL or MLB or whatever. I want to feel like I'm building that team, even in a win or a loss. Like, what did I learn to make my team better? I don't want it to be. We know it's a video game and it can't be 1-to-1 to what we see in real life, but I want it to be as close enough to where I have to use strategy to overcome and be better, not only with the stick skills, but the mental game as well, based on what the AI does against me.
I like that. No,
Um.
I like that.
Oh, good.
No, I was to say I agree with all the things that you guys are saying. I see like Gideon stuff all the time. I'm always trying to do the best I can about staying in, seeing what the guy, because I was a community guy too, right? So,
Hmm.
Right.
it's very important to hear that kind of stuff. So that's, it's always, and then especially all the
Yeah,
different
because
conversations regarding around football and what should be in there, what should be not, our game. And so I love hearing that. But that was a question I wanted to make sure that I asked you guys when
Yeah,
I
I think
was
before
involved.
Bills go, I really wanted to say as well. I think it's very important that the games, if the games look this good, I feel that they should play as true to how it looks. I don't think you should have a NBA Jam experience outside of the park or whatever. Or unless you're using
Hmm.
the my team cards or whatever, or like with Madden, I don't think you should have that experience when you're trying to have a simulation, style game when you want to play 12 quarters. Because I don't think me and DJ said we play 12 quarters when we play.
15-minute quarters.
so do I.
Right.
Hmm.
You know,
Oh,
and,
talking about for 2K. I thought you were talking about Madden.
oh no, I was going back to 2K. I jump back and
Okay,
forth.
yeah, 12-minute quarters. I got you.
12-minute quarters, 15-minute on Madden. That's what we
Right.
do. We want that. What you see on Sundays, what you see on Tuesday night. So it's like those are the things that we strive for over here, and we try our best to make it as close as possible.
And
I'm
then
sorry, I went too far.
and just to throw this in, Bills and I, we talk about this all the time, and we tinker with sliders all the time. And like we mostly got it from NHL as far as tinkering with sliders, but with 2K, talking about player movement, making sure players are responsive to our controls, you know, get that as close to one on one as possible, and then not just ball tangibility, but also body tangibility, like arms. It's not going to be absolutely perfect,
Hmm.
but making sure that the physical body is respected. The
Yeah.
physical body is respected. The physical ball is respected, and also making the ball its own entity.
Well, something I always say, like I go back to like when people talk about physics, right? And they say,
Hmm.
hey, we got to have physics, we got to have physics. And I'm not sure if people understand that you have to have physics or you have to have the proper resolution.
Mm,
Mm.
For example, right? It was just like if Steven Jackson, my old Ram Steven Jackson, right,
right.
is coming down at a 220 pound, 215 pound, or 185 pound DB, do you need physics to solve that, or you just want him to fall forward?
Right.
Hmm.
That's
Right?
a
That
good
that's that's
question.
that's the thing, right? I think so. It's when people are so heavy to throw out these terms and throw out their names, and they're not they. I don't expect them to be devs. No one does, right? But it's like really what you want is this. Why didn't X fall forward? Why didn't LeBron power through? Why is he falling back if
Mhm.
Muggsy Bogues bodies him up?
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? That's
Hmm.
it's kind of always a question I've always thought of too, where old games didn't have it, but you didn't have a problem with it,
Yeah, that's a good point.
right?
I just think at the end of the day,
Maybe I'm wrong, but it's just again I'm thinking out loud, talking, and it's always a good
Right.
conversation to have with community.
I have a question for you, Scott OG, because you
Yes.
brought up before, you know, the balance between realism and fun.
Hmm.
I don't know if you can quite go into this, but can you name even a couple things that maybe you kind of were struggling with as far as implementing in the game that you thought maybe would be either too realistic or would throw off the balance of replication versus fun?
Oh, Ace when we first did it,
I was
100%.
thinking the same thing.
So I think I don't know if I've said this publicly many times. When we put Ace in, and this was just for Hall of Fame difficulty,
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
not no, sorry, it was for all difficulties, right? But I'm talking about Hall of Fame as far as getting the numbers. Before I got there and we put it in, I think users were averaging close to like 50 a game at 60 something percent.
oh
But
wow,
trust me, there's still guys now that do really well and find ways to, I don't want to say exploit, but do certain things, right? It's a single double off of this action they could always get, or it's a single side clear through. That's a DHO that turns into something. Those are stuff we're always trying to evolve, right? Especially when I got on, the offense was so much further ahead than the defense was, right?
Yes.
Like it's just that's just the way it was.
Right.
We took it from damn near 50 a game to like 17.9 and like 41%.
Wow.
Mm.
Oh wow.
So from there, then we kind of like peeled back. We peeled back pretty heavily. We added more features, but kind of like did some things around it in like 17, and then 18 picked it back up a little bit, and then tried to find that balance there. Because 16, it was like everything is going to be sim. We are going to do, you know what I'm saying? And that
Mhm.
is where the hardcore people absolutely loved it, but we didn't know if we were swallowing up the casuals at the same time,
And I know that's a big balance that you
right?
guys.
So that's always the kind of thing, and I would always want to err, I guess, on that side. But then, that, like I said, what I find is fun, or what you guys find is fun, or what my son finds, it's different, right? So then, like on lower difficulties, you have to peel back the double teams, and
Right.
but at the same time, you'll get a video of a guy going off, and he's
Mhm.
on, he's on pro,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
so it's like, well, all right, turn it up. And then, like I said, there's the other guys that it doesn't really matter. They're going to be, I always say cheesers are successful. I mean, cheesers are talented, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll find something, they'll just keep doing it over and over and over again. And, whether it's in fighting games or whatever, to a degree, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
It may not be the case in all games, but, you know,
Because I think, like, I talk about the passing a lot, and
mhm,
DJ brought it up before with the ball being its own entity. Now, me in my head, I was thinking that perhaps maybe that was something that would be a bit of a challenge of replication versus fun, similar to how we've asked, for example, Madden to have snaps go over people's heads and high
mhm,
snaps and low
mhm.
snaps. And the discussion always was, well, who would find this fun? And how many people would say they don't want outside factors, attributing to them either turn the ball over or things of that
Mhm.
nature.
For sure. For sure.
Um,
Yep.
but for me, the passing thing would just be, you guys already have the interface where you can pick directional and all those
Mhm.
other ones. I just feel like maybe if there was I don't know if like a pass assist button, because I know like on FIFA and PES they have manual, then they have assisted, and
Yep.
DJ
Yep.
knows this, and
Yeah, I gotcha.
it's so
No, yeah, yep. I used to
um
play. I played. Yeah, dude. I think I was top 50 in seasons in 12
oh
and 13.
Jesus.
Oh
Oh yeah,
wow.
I was in them streets.
Yeah.
Ibrahimovic. No, I get it, completely. I watch all the stuff too. Dota.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
All of
Mm.
those games. The
Wow.
Street Fighter tournaments and
Oh man, I love it.
so
Street
you
Fighter
try.
Five just got this great update. I can't wait.
Yeah, so just trying to get there. That's always, again, I've said this too in before, and that's always a challenge too, right? Is making everything on frame count, and
Right.
you could like, well, should we, do you get rid of auto crossover? And that's like,
Hmm.
but that's like an expected behavior, right? You have the ball on the right side with your right hand, you cross over with your left stick, it
Mhm.
should
God,
go to your
imagine getting
protected
rid of
hand.
that
But
level.
if you
That
talk
would
to
be
but
wow.
if you want to tell me, or you're going to talk to somebody and say, hey, I want a completely skill based game, well, then maybe that's you crossing it over at all times. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah.
Right.
those type of discussions are, trust me, in both companies I've worked at, those are always fun discussions to have as far as like, well, no, this is really what this is. Um, so it's always interesting to hear your guys' perspective on that.
Because I
Yeah.
oh go
I think at the end of the day, I think I can speak for all three of us. We just want our 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 perspective of fun is
Mhm.
basically what we want as far as respect to the sport.
Yep.
I mean, we're not the type that's trying to, even when we make my players, or, we want to have that grind to actually become, uh, a king assist, type of point guard, or if we want to be a all scorer or a big man, we want it to be catered to where we have to grind to get it. And I know it's not ideal, that's a whole nother can of worms I don't want to get into. But even outside of that, when we have personnel on the court and they have deficiencies and they have pros and cons, we want to use those pros and cons to outsmart the opponent. And I think
Hmm.
2K for the most part has done a pretty good job of that
It's not
overall.
Yeah,
unfair.
we may have gone too hard. I think in 18, right?
Yeah.
We did. You can't help what you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm,
So, like,
yeah.
right, if a guy couldn't, if you had like a wing or a slot pick and roll, and a guy dived,
Mm-hmm.
and you had a guy that was cutting through, but he was the help man on the low block weak side, help
Mm-hmm.
side, low post. He couldn't see it. He didn't help. So
Yep.
someone would get like a layup when you're like, well, I don't, we don't necessarily control when he turns at that time. So maybe he should be able to get there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Right.
there's all of these little things, and all sports games deal with it. Um, it's so I'm always, trying to take, I guess we're always, everybody, not just myself, checking that stuff out. But that's, what you guys talked. I think I asked you guys in the chat, like, hey, you're playing football and you're at the line, you know, how many audibles or hot routes should you be allowed to
Oh yeah,
throw?
the limit on
Yeah.
audible.
Yeah.
You know,
What is,
yeah.
what does perfect mean when you hit a ball in baseball? So it's like, what do you expect? And it's, as devs, it's always tough to try to nail those things down exactly, because all five of us right now could have a completely different answer to those if we were in private.
Well, and then
Mm,
the other thing, I would say about what VF brought up with my career is, I would say Road to the Show would be a model for, as far as like your
My player,
your
a
yeah,
career.
yeah, because your guy's ceiling in Road to the Show, right,
Hmm.
is a bit different than 2K, where unfortunately in 2K it feels like a lot of times, and I know this is because there are people who just want instant gratification. Um, it's
I don't even think it's that Bills. I think just the grind in MLB the show is like perfect.
no, but that's what I'm getting to. It's like in MLB the Show, you have to work to even make it to the majors, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to 2K, it feels like based on what people want, a lot of the time, they don't want to have to grind to even get in the starting lineup. They feel like they should be in the starting lineup the moment they get
Yeah,
drafted.
they should be LeBron by game three.
And the thing
Hmm.
is, so what I'm saying is, I feel like as far as the variety of a career that you can have, I feel like there's no way I can make a player in 2K and he turn out to be like a rotational player. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
As opposed to in MLB the Show, it's like I could end up either never making the majors or make the majors and be like an 8 or 9 hitter, right?
Or
But
not only that, you can get called back down.
yeah, right. But so in 2K, I feel like if there was a way for us to kind of test our metal and have that situation where you have to earn your way to being a superstar,
Hmm.
or even starting, I think that would add a lot of immersion because I mean, shit, sometimes your guy just turns out to be a rotation player based on the team he gets drafted to. Other times it's maybe how you played in college, you end up not getting the amount of VC that you need to up your guy's stats, and a lot of those things sort of pan out that way where the guy just isn't destined to be a superstar. And Road to the Show, it happened. I
And I think that I think that should be an option that we should have because I know when you look at the big scheme of things, everybody who plays a game wants to be that superstar by game 10. We know that. I know that.
Oh man,
But
my high school kids I coach, varsity high school kids, even they're 17, 18 years old, and they're
uh
all just Dion waiters.
right,
I'm coming in to get buckets. I'm chucking.
right, but
Like, I'm like, that's a bad shot. Don't care. Chuck it.
yeah, exactly. I agree, but I think for us when if we do make a my player or whatever the case may be, I think one of the things is we should always have that option to say if we wanted to be, and I think we can still do it within our own confines of playing the game, and we just
Mhm,
want to be that point guard that does 10. A 10, 10, and 10 point guard, or
mhm.
we wanted to be, just a basic 20 and 10, power forward or something like that. I
see,
think those things. I think those things are just main. I think those things are maintaining your role throughout your career. Me
Yep.
personally, I think that's absolutely that's amazing. I think that's fun to just maintain a steady career, and you don't have to be like the LeBron or the Kobe or something. If you can just
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? If you could just have that career where you're just a solid cog in a dynasty that you help build or something.
Well, full
Instead of
transparency,
like,
we have kind of speculated on this podcast that your teammates kind of played down to, I guess, in a way, bolster your stats.
I
In a
put it
way,
like this. That I will say this personally. My experience that hasn't happened lately on the recent 2Ks because 2K20 I'm doing that now with a my player point guard for the Knicks, and I'm not that guy. But prior to you getting to 2K, OG, I can go to countless times back in 2K14, in some cases 2K13 is like I literally would be on the Miami Heat and LeBron James would play like he has no idea what his role is on the team. And I'm the point guard trying to feed him like, look, I want 17 assists. Do your thing. I pass it to him when he's open, he passes it right back.
Yeah.
It's like I don't understand that.
Well, if you remember when you and I were talking, geez, years ago, VF, like in 14, we
Mhm.
started the Team Pacific defenses there,
Right.
right? So it
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is reviewed like this and blah blah blah, and like a lot of that I got, but I was like, there wasn't much that saw that, right? Because
Right.
you couldn't overlook, but like you were mentioning last week, hey, it's the same thing I try to do. I don't think that's very common at all, but you're like, no, this does this really well, and I enjoy it because of that, or this game should do this because of X. So
Mhm.
it's um, something I was noting from your guys' last chat. Last question I have for you fellas: a game comes out, you haven't played it. Where are you going for your source of information to
Mm.
find out about the game? Because
Oh,
Metacritic has changed. There's been a lot of things that changed. So where do you go?
oh goodness!
Who?
I mean, like if none of us, three of us haven't played it.
can we be honest?
No, I'm gonna be honest. If none of us have played it, I mean, if one of us has played it, I'm going to one of these guys. But if you're talking about a situation where three of us haven't played it, where are we going prior? Bills, you go first.
Honestly, I this may be self absorbed, but I'm going to watch gameplay that you guys released and break it down myself. I'm
Mhm.
just that's honestly what I'm doing. If I see a gameplay video that y'all put out or
Yep.
somebody has CP versus CPU gameplay, I'm just gonna go and
You
watch
try to,
that.
so you're relying on the ghetto footage, the shaky cam footage.
I said that I don't want
Everything.
I don't want the guy taking threes from the other side of the
I was gonna
court
say, how much does that really help you?
This is a good
at
question.
all. I mean,
But that's it. Like, what is your source? Like, do you have a particular website? Is there a particular person you guys follow on Twitter that's, say not me or not a dev, and you're like, this is where y'all need to go to check this out. You say it's a like a I don't
I
know,
don't.
yeah, it's a first
Go
person
ahead, DJ,
shooter or
because I'm
something.
gonna get my answer after you.
I don't. For me, I don't really have a go-to.
I don't
Like
either.
I'll look at gameplay on YouTube. I will disregard the ghetto footage. I kind of look at that as somebody just trying to get clicks in a cheap way. So I don't really regard that type of footage. I do look at gameplay that's released. I'll kind of look at a trailer, um,
Let's not
but
forget the blogs either.
what was that?
Blogs.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I'll write a couple, or I'll read other people's blogs.
Their blogs that they release about the game.
Well, that's what I was getting to.
Okay.
Man, nobody likes to let me get to my point.
Blog.
But anyway, but yeah, I'm mostly reading. I'm mostly wanting to consume blogs and stuff that give me the details,
Mhm.
and then the gameplay will supplement what I've read in those blogs.
So
And
you
then
have a okay, so you have a blog that's particular per kind of genre. Is that what you're saying?
what me specifically,
Yeah,
like,
like I'm saying, like there's I don't know, Uncharted comes out.
mhm.
Where are you going to trust?
Well, I would go to PlayStation's site for their blogs
Got it. Okay.
on like Uncharted.
Yep.
I'm.
Um,
Go ahead, DJ. Go ahead and finish.
yeah, just like for 2K, I'll wait until a blog comes out on Facebook
Hmm.
and I'll read those. I'll read those blogs, and then because I feel like the details. I'm not going to see everything, even though I am a visual person, but at this point, the devil's in the details, and I want to know what the details are. Then apply it to the gameplay footage that may come out, and go from there.
Cool.
All right, I'm gonna say this when it comes. I've said this before, but I've been, as far as sports games go, I've been playing sports games since the late '80s. When a game comes out,
Ooh.
yeah, I'm not saying you didn't, DJ. I didn't say you didn't,
No, I was just because I
but
like doing it.
when it comes to sports games, I I kind of know what I'm getting into with most of the sports games. When fighting games, pretty much the same thing. But with fighting games, there's so many different mechanics to come to fighting games. So I always go to Maximilian. I don't know if you know him on YouTube, big time fighting game
My
So
person.
boy,
you
my
so
boy
YouTube is
Mod
something that
Yeah,
you're
mostly YouTube. If there's a game in general that I really don't know much about, I'll go to YouTube and there for him it's for fighting games it's him. If it's a shooting game, I usually go to like if it's a first person shooter, I usually watch Matimio or I'll watch this guy named Operation Drewski. They do really good with first person shooters. But when it comes to sports, I'm like I'm getting information from you guys. Like I know when you used to do the Live 14 when you did the gameplay on that. I used to
Yep.
I go for stuff like that. Like if somebody who's like created the game or they helped develop the game, I go to them. But mostly with sports, man, I've been playing sports for so long. It's like I'm like the quintessential OG offline gamer. And
Yep.
if I see something in the game that I know of, I'll probably know like I know I'm gonna like this right then and there because I see this. I've been playing sports games so long, it'll take me maybe a minute from watching it, knowing if I'm gonna like the game or not. So
Gotcha.
I've been doing it for so long, but definitely I'll go to like DJ with vlogs or blogs or but when it comes to it, like I've been playing sports games so long, I kind of know off the bat if I know I'm going to like a game or not. Usually, if I'm watching or playing it, especially definitely if I'm playing it. If I'm playing it, I'll play a game for maybe a couple of minutes, and I know like, all right, I'm going to be on this.
Dope.
So
Dope. But nobody's on Reddit. No, none of you guys are.
I kind of
That
take I
person.
take a peek on Reddit every now and then, but it's just to see what everybody else is saying. And but at the end of the day, I'm more trusting of what I see and what I read.
and I'm gonna be honest, OG. I mean, there's one of the reasons why I put, I wanted to do this thing with this podcast. Bills, DJ came along after a while. We know when it comes to sports, when we do gaming on top of outside of sports gaming, but mostly when it comes to sports, we are pretty much our own we're pretty much our own opinions. Like we know what we like and we know what's going to be in store for most games. So as far as the go-to, we kind of like have that eye for these games. And I think that's one thing that we find ourselves unique. We are the guys in the chat. We are the guys on Twitter. We are the guys who watch, YouTubes of other people, but we kind of mostly trust our own instinct when it comes to the games and it's just everything else is much of it is an enhancement. Like when DJ look at the vlogs, Bill say he looks at what you guys do at 2K or what they do at EA. I'm the same way. It's like those are enhancements, but at the end of the day, our opinions and our vision of the games is where it leads us to what we're going to play or what we think or what we know we're going to like.
And I would add
Mhm.
one more thing in real quick, which is, of course, 2K has a demo, and EA has EA access for all those games that they put out. I spend a lot of time on y'all's demo in the practice mode, playing the 5-on-5
Yes,
mode.
yes.
Mhm.
And the first thing I go and do is I go and try all the things that I knew were exploitable last year. And it's not even so much that I exploit them; it's just I'll play the games and I'll notice, oh, that's kind of gonna work every time.
Mhm.
And then I'll
Yep.
try it and say, okay, well, pick and roll defense is improved. And then
Mhm.
I'll move on to the next thing and I'll just play and I'll try to get a feel for the game, how the animations trigger, things like that. And it's the same in Madden. Those 10 hours that I have, I just kind of, well, Madden actually now to take it back, Madden's different because they give you obviously the whole game, but you can still kind of just tinker around with things and get a feel for it, go inside the franchise mode and really see what that's all about. And that gives me an opportunity to see whether I actually want to buy it or not. So that hands-on experience, I think, helps even more for us to understand before the game comes out whether we really want to purchase it or not. Which 2K half the time, just the info y'all give out and the gameplay that y'all show kind of makes it a purchase, right? Because we kind of know what we're getting from you guys pretty much. Um, and it's kind of like that across the board. There aren't really games that yearly have these huge transformations where you really have to dig deep and find things that are
Well, and
new.
you're much younger too. With the three of us, it
Yeah.
was
Mm-hmm.
much different, right? There was 5 different football games. There was 4 different
Yes.
basketball games.
Yeah.
There was 3 different
Yeah.
baseball games. I mean, shit, you used to go to an electronic boutique before it was freaking GameStop, or
Boy, yep.
you were
Babbage's.
literally just, yeah, you were just going in. Shoot, the back of the box was selling a ton,
Yep.
right?
Oh
You'd be
yeah.
looking in, does it have the feature I want, right? There's a lot of it, and there's no internet. There's no, you're reading
And
game
see that,
magazines and
and see that's the
interviews, and you're
thing.
trying to pick up as much as you can.
Right, and that's the thing, and I think that's where I come in, where I'm not the type that goes to look on certain websites to find things because I'm from that era where it was game it was well the Game Informer not Game Informer, what was the other one, GameStop, not GameStop, GameSpot.
Game
It was the old magazine, no, Game Pro. It was the
Game
Game
Pro,
Pro
yeah, yeah,
magazine
yep.
or nothing else. It was
I thought it was
EGM.
also EGM,
It was EGM.
Electronic Gaming
It was EGM
Monthly, I
and
think.
nothing else. So I still have not conform to going to a website to get like information on games in general. Like YouTube is so convenient because I don't, to me, that's like television to me now. So like I said, with the Street Fighters or whatever,
Hmm.
or if I want to watch something on a first person shooter, I would go to them. But when it comes to sports, it was like, and I still have that mentality. Like I'll just pick up, look at the back of the box, or whatever the case be, and just go in because that's the era I'm from. You know.
And VF made
Totally.
a good point about, I guess in a way, us being able to point out things in the game before we play it. Like I remember we looked at that Madden trailer and we were like, "Wow, look at how Robert Woods turned up field." And
Yeah, it's like you see those type of
we
things.
automatically knew that last year it wouldn't have played out that way. So it's also a benefit to play the game last year. You get a
Hmm.
feel for what's going to be different or not different, and you can kind of, like I said, dissect the gameplay that you see and kind of make an interpretation for yourself. Where we don't really need too many outside sources anymore because you can just kind of go to YouTube. Obviously it's not like it was back in the day. Now you can go to YouTube and just watch gameplay.
No, like I said, you guys are doing well. Before I get off, keep it up. Um, Shoot, you guys, like DJ knows. I mean, I started with the website and the podcast, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how everything of my stuff got started while I was playing.
Oh
So,
wow.
right, that was it. Just because similar to you guys, right? You're sitting there like, well, from my end, coming from a professional athlete, you're just like, man, football games were so much further ahead of basketball games. Like
Yeah.
you can go back to,
I would agree.
right, you can go
Yeah.
to 98, 99,
Oh God.
to all
Like
the way I mean, they were just much further along,
Yeah,
and
you're
there were
absolutely
so many
right.
things that were just missing, and so that's where, just that's it. It's just it's tough because a lot of it you see, you try to raise your kids not to do it either. Just we're in a bandwagon society, and a lot of it,
Oh
and
Lord.
jumping on hate is the way for a lot of things, and that's what, hey,
people
as long as
out
you're
there
doing it
clout chasing.
for
We
sure, right?
we
That's
saw a lot of it today for
so.
2K, which I think was crazy unwarranted because it'd be one thing if you guys didn't put out a quality product every year to say same game would be a negative. Okay, fine. But, I mean, to say that 2K looks similar to how it did last year isn't really a negative because you guys have such a great
Yeah,
base of.
already put out a great game. Exactly.
And another thing I'll say is that I feel like the 2Ks that you've been involved with, and I don't know if the two agree with me or not, but I feel like the 2Ks that you've been involved with will be ones that we can go back like a 2K11 and play.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
we
I knew it immediately. Like once he came over, I knew what time it was.
No, I
So
appreciate it.
in
yeah,
generations
No,
to follow, I'll say I could go back and play NBA 2K20, and it'll be a form of it'll be a form of nostalgia.
Yeah.
That's that's how it goes, right? And that's how it always. So you're just trying to year over year and just keep on improving and going from there. But that's
Yes,
good,
sir.
fellas. Keep it up, much appreciated, man. And yeah,
All
I'll be in them streets.
right. All
All
right, man.
right.
All right,
I
fellas,
appreciate it,
Hey,
OG. We
thanks for
really
coming
appreciate
on.
it.
take it easy.
All right, so I ain't got nothing else to say. I think we can end it on that, right?
Yeah, we could definitely end it on that.
Like, what else we need to add to that? I mean, that was great. I'm gonna have to
Guys,
change. I'm gonna have to change the title of the podcast and everything.
Yeah,
I thought
again.
if you came on and conducted an interview with us,
I know out of nowhere, like straight
Wait,
impromptu. Like
you
it
would have
was,
turned the gun on us. He's like, hey, wait a minute, let me ask y'all some questions.
yeah, exactly. But that's a good thing though, because you gotta
So,
understand, like at the end of the day, what developer of a big game like this, you get that type of feedback. Not just he says, no, don't do that. Yeah, like seriously, what kind of game do develop that you get that type of access to? It's like I think we're we're lucky, man. I just can't say it enough, man. I really appreciate it. This was great.
I think at the end of the day, it just shows the openness and the endless curiosity that he has.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
kind of really don't see that in today's landscape anyway. Everybody's so closed off. They think they know what people want and just go off of that, and then do stuff like we've seen what Clint does, and
Hey,
though, not to hammer on Clint, but the thing with OG that's great is OG listens to understand. He doesn't listen to respond. Clint listens to respond.
yeah.
A lot
And,
of
and, and he's not the only one. It's a couple other devs that do that
a
too.
couple other devs, but he's one of the main ones. Rex listened to understand. If he asked a question about either what your recommendation was to fix something or why you had an issue with something, he genuinely wanted to know. Clint will get sarcastic and say, "Well, how are you gonna fix it?" Or, it's just that doesn't get you anywhere. All the questions that Scott OG asked were valuable questions because he was trying to figure out what happened to DJ.
He just got sniped.
Can't put him in a headlock again. But I mean, the questions that Scott OG were asking were questions that I think every dev probably has to at least wonder, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
where do you get your information about our upcoming game, and what draws you into a game? Because that's those are two of the more important things I would think as a developer.
I had to change. I changed the title of the podcast. I think that was just great. That was good stuff. This see when it comes to games. Hold on, dear DJ. He made it back. You all right, DJ?
He going
Yo, tell me why the whole neighborhood power just went out.
Oh shoot!
he came back on with a new picture.
Well, yeah, because I'm calling I'm dialing in for my phone. The whole neighborhood just went out. So damn.
So
y'all don't have like bad
No, this is the first time that has happened in a while. So no, I'm like the whole neighborhood is out. Even our neighboring neighborhood is out.
You got candles?
We got lights on our phone, flashlights, so we're good.
Yeah, you better plug that. Oh, I'm about to say you better plug the phone up if you can.
Well, I got about 83% power, so I'm good.
Oh yeah, you should be good then. You be good.
Well, you have your car. You can always charge it in your car too.
Yeah, but remember, I'm on that quarantine, so I'm not trying to really move around too much.
Yeah, but like I said, I think this is good stuff because we always, if anything, we always just wanted to be heard at the end of the day. We don't have the I guess the demeanor to have like this mentality like, please, we want somebody to listen to us. We just tell you how it is, and hopefully you just we're going to be who we are. And if you decide to give us the time of day, it's all good. But we never said we're going to compromise ourselves to get the attention to devs. And the thing is, we really appreciate the fact that Scott Gallagher actually comes listen to us. Because you got to think about it. A month and a half ago, we had no idea. You know what I mean? I mean, I knew people listened to us, but I had no idea he did. And I just thought it was really cool
He
that.
carries a lot of weight. I don't think people realize how much weight he carries as far as 2K is concerned.
Right. And not only that, it's like that's why I try to, really keep everything the way it is. And I know you guys understand it because like you never know, like, who's listening to us. And now I appreciate that people like Scott Gallagher listen to us for our honesty and our candor. And it's a great feeling to know. And I can't be nothing but humble to know that we have the ear of someone that really appreciates what we do. We're not trying to be something that we're not to get to that point. And I really appreciate that.
And if a 2K executive by some chance is listening, hire Rex Dixon for your football development.
Yep. That is your next football guru in 2K will be Rex Dixon. I guarantee that will happen.
I mean, OG, if you know somebody that knows somebody, put his name out there.
Rex Dixon.
Yeah.
Winners also help others win.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he knows about it.
No, I know he knows. I just like to throw that out there, though.
It's all love. Bill, you got anything before we slide?
No, I mean I'm just excited about this beta, or not beta, but this what you call it tomorrow. This,
EA access trial.
And 2 weeks away from, about 2 weeks away from the trial for Madden. So excited about that.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say 2 weeks away from the trial for Madden, so I'm excited about that too. Madden 21 trial. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then I'm also excited because once we get out of this month, we can finally start seeing some damn next gen shit.
Hopefully,
yeah. I'm about to say.
We get into September. That'll be the time where it starts slowly rolling out.
What else? DJ, what you got?
Well, other than the fact that it is pretty dark right now, so just to say thanks to OG for stopping by. Thank you for everybody that has continued to watch throughout this extended time, our OT, our extra period, whatever you want to call it, sudden death portion of the podcast. So
try to go between 20 and 30. So
I definitely appreciate that. We definitely appreciate everybody staying on. And again, personally, I appreciate everybody's well wishes. Again, I should know something within a week or something like that, whether the results are positive or negative. And
how you been feeling?
Up and down. I'm like, remember I told you before the podcast, before we started, my energy just dropped instantly. Right. But then it, like in the middle of it, it just picked right back up. So it's just like it's crazy. So I'm experiencing like the aches and pains and stuff like that. Fatigue is the main thing I'm worried about. I don't have a fever. That was confirmed in the appointment. So that's the positive part. I mean, positive as in good. I don't want to scare nobody, but yeah. But yeah, come for the rest of it. Come check me out. I have a website, dj81.org. Twitch, Evo325. I streamed yesterday, went 1-1. So Bills, check out the 2K portion because the soccer portion, yeah, I kind of blew it again.
Goob. You know what? It's all right. We don't gotta find out who's disliking the podcast. Whoever's disliking the podcast, your mom's to jump off on the corner of whatever street she lives on. Keep going, DJ.
Hey, well, when I used to live in Atlanta, I used to be Fulton International, not Fulton, but
wow. So
call it FIB.
Wow. Well, in conclusion, you can also find me on Twitter, DJ81. So thank you guys.
All right. Yeah, man. So, hey, listen, I appreciate everybody. We started this podcast, me and Bills. We were recording the podcast, hoping that the audio was right. We said we was going to do 4 quarters in this podcast.
I'm glad y'all got rid of that format. God,
DJ,
I was listening to that and I was just like, please
right.
get rid of that format.
Yeah, DJ came on as a guest, ended up being a full-time member. DJ came to us with actually going live. We came a long way. Don't get it twisted. I mean, I still feel that we're the best, smallest podcast out here, and I will stick with that forever. You got all these other podcasts with more viewers and with no substance, and a lot of substance with no viewers. We have a good balance, and I think that we're continuously on our way up. Got listenership on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play. We got content out here with DJ, myself, Bills. We're just doing it, man. And we want to continue to push it, and you guys make it all possible by listening and spreading the word. And don't stop spreading the word. Let people know what we're doing. And I can't say it enough. We really appreciate y'all. We thank y'all for everything that you do. Friday coming up. I may stream. If not, I know I'll have a video up. Definitely Saturday I have another video up. Sunday I'm going to be streaming. Definitely. A lot of stuff is going on here. We really appreciate it. Also, join the Discord. Link is in the description if you haven't already. And definitely going to timestamp when OG came in so people can listen. And I think that was very productive. We really appreciate you, Scott O'Gallagher. Really, really appreciate it. And we'll continue to just keep bringing this content. Other than that, we'll be back next Tuesday with another episode, hopefully with more information with these games. And we'll come up with our own topics to be interesting for you guys as well. So you guys be blessed. You guys be safe. You guys be good. See you guys next time. Peace.
Peace out.